Veggie just waiting on the other side of this A ramp for any sort of LDLC aggression. It is going to come his way eventually. Just has to be patient and wait for it. Six are down early with the headshots as Veggie's hunting around for more, but afforded none just yet. Snacks will get the second of the round before both CTs fall back into that A bomb site and await the T side advance through the ramp. Nades being deployed, but no kills yet found by LDLC. His body still trying to get it done with his P250 is yet to deal too much damage. His teammate Lambert falling behind him and dropping the bomb in front is going to put him under a great amount of pressure indeed. Veggie shutting things down in this A bomb site. Afro will arrive for at least one kill, but ILLUMINAR, they get through it with 4 alive.
Yeah, very nice round from ILLUMINAR there. Keeping the numbers up as well means that they've got plenty of money coming into this next round, can invest a whole lot into it. Not really a lot that LDLC could do there, just couldn't get those kills in the alley, and look at that clinical headshot. Completely shutting that one down.
Welcome to the match, M&J. It's a pleasure to have you joining me for today's best of 3. It's set to be an intense one. I'm not sure if you were clued in on that veto, but Vertigo, obviously, this first map picked by ILLUMINAR, and then Inferno up next for the French with Train as a potential decider. So ILLUMINAR obviously looking to pick up this first one, as Inferno is relatively comfortable territory for the French.
Of course, yeah, they've had a lot of really good results on that map in the past, and obviously seeing Body on this LDLC side as well. Very, very strong player to have on your side, but Mouse finding his first, looking for the second as well onto Body. Can't quite convert it, but already a 2-man advantage early on. This is looking pretty dire for LDLC, especially considering they invested into this round. This is a full investment with these Deagles, and they're not really doing a whole lot. Minute left on the clock, 3 players alive. Hadji's already very, very low on HP. Having to aggress elsewhere to try and find something. Body's just spotted out Veggie. As Rallen finds Lambert, this is all but done for LDLC. Hadji, the last alive with this Deagle, might be able to catch out Rallen as he's getting aggressive. Not even going to happen there. ILLUMINAR keeping all 5 players alive, which works wonders for their economy as they go 2-0 up.
They get a couple of kills on that UMP as well to further bonus the bank, and they clean up that force buy from LDLC in the second round. It'll be a French eco in this one, just hunting for a bomb plant and any excess Glock damage. Their main target's going to be to try and overwhelm the 2 M4s that are available and force out the reinvestment on a couple of players up in the next one. But it's looking like the clean 3-0 start early on for ILLUMINAR as the Pistols try to rush up towards A. Veggie up front does get dinked, so will have to retreat, but Stacks and Innocent are doing a great job of cleaning this one up. Innocent with triple kill on the MP9 boosts him up to nearly 9k in the bank as we head into the first full gun round.
Well, this is going to be the round that LDLC want to try and pull off. Of course, the last couple have just been these kind of rounds where they haven't had a whole lot to work with in them. This is the time they've got the AKs out, and all not available in this one. Obviously, with that force buy in the second, they haven't managed to save up the money to get that. So, just full utility all round. The AKs, see what they can do with it. Going for a slow default early on, just spreading the players around the map, not committing to any kind of push as of yet. But this deep ramp smoke allows Veggie to get really, really close to it, gain a lot of control over towards this portion of the map. The ILLUMINAR so far just looking really in control here. They're taking a huge amount of map control. The resmoke comes in. LDLC. 40 seconds of the round played out. They've not really gained any control whatsoever, but Afro finds himself a gap. Can't capitalize on it, though.
That's the unfortunate factor for LDLC, as they have that firepower advantage. If they can get in the right positions for these AKs, they can certainly overwhelm the SMGs at range, but Lambert needs to be careful of Innocent on the box. Perfect angle for that MP9 to be utilized, and as of yet, Lambert doesn't look too likely to check it. He will eventually peek at Innocent, but he can't convert the kill. Opening frag afforded to ILLUMINAR early now as LDLC adjust towards this A-bomb site. Snacks up close, just needs one with this MP9 to keep the defense going, but he won't be able to find it. His body takes him out at close range, leaves it in the 4-on-4 as the wall of smokes and Molotovs are dropped in the A site.
Veggie really the last man that can try and deny them onto this bomb site, and he's able to do exactly that. Finds himself to the bomb now, dropped out in the open, does some damage, but he's already done enough. His teammates are there on the rotation. The smokes will go up, and ODLC might be able to get this bomb down, but not when the defense is as strong as that. Mouse with a headshot onto Sixer, the nade finishing off the last, and ILLUMINAR. Well, they make that buy round look pretty easy, to be honest. It was a little bit shaky at the start, but Veggie picking up the pieces. And they take the fourth. ODLC really in dire straits right now. Just down to these pistols again. I don't know what they can do here. They're going to have to wait for the next buy round before they can really try and contest this one.
LDLC perhaps showing us early why they've only won one match in the last 3 months here on HLTV officials on Vertigo, but Hadji perhaps looking to change this prospect a little bit with a double deagle entry into the B-bomb site. Roland now with an M4 in hand is under a substantial amount of pressure, and he has no vision. The smokes are going to allow LDLC the obfuscation necessary to arrive in this B-bomb site, and Body has taken down Innocent as well. Roland advances through the smoke and backs off before Sixer can find him. Veggie has found the opposing AWP, but Afro's picked it back up, and Lambert on the flank, he's there to deal the damage. Veggie turns around for one kill, but the other two Ts have backed straight off to the A-bomb site, and Veggie would have to rotate fast to deny a plant.
Well, he seems to be onto it. Shift walking up there. Should be able to get there in time, but they've got the angle on him as soon as he peeks. Afro not going to be missing that shot any day this week. Takes care of him. LDLC put their first round on the board, a round that you wouldn't really expect them to take, but it's all off the back of this doubled eagle headshot from Hadji. Fantastic entries. As we go into round number 6, well, ILLUMINAR still got plenty of money in the bank, even the AWP available on Snacks. But this time, we're seeing the same for LDLC, and this time as well, Sixers on that AWP, something that we haven't seen so far this game. Snacks is going for the peek over towards Ramp, the Battle of the Titans, but the smoke goes up. Neither of them can connect the shots. And again, ILLUMINAR taking this aggressive standpoint. Veggie gets close to this smoke. Might be able to pick out Afro if he gets too aggressive here.
It's actually the opposite fate that befalls ILLUMINAR. Snacks tries to get aggressive with the AWP, and it's Afro's aggressive positioning that eats into him instead. Veggie's done great so far in this map. 10 kills already, but we'll need more of this round if they want to hold on to the A-bomb site. Nade looks to find Body, but he gets back in time. And on 6 HP, he's allowed to slope off down the A slope and await his team to arrive for the full execution. A minute left on the clock and barely any CT utility remaining. Veggie backs off at just the right time and then re-aggresses does Roland and finds Afro with the headshot. Veggie just distracting for as long as necessary. Enough time to secure that one kill needed back for ILLUMINAR. Bring it into the 4-on-4, but Hadji's not done yet. He's hunted Veggie down, and Innocent, if he can't find this kill, in LDLC now have a way into the A-bomb site.
They do indeed. 2 ILLUMINAR players to hold it up, but Rallen's been tagged down so low from that Molotov, just on 6 HP. The rotation does come in from Mouse. He needs to do something huge here to stop them from getting onto this bomb site. Sixer, of course, with that AWP, but a very nice headshot from Mouse. Gets the angle lined up perfectly. He does get smoked off here, but Body's down to 6 HP. This is absolutely doable for ILLUMINAR. Just need to play their cards right. No utility for them to work with as well, so they don't want to be just charging through these smokes. But as Mouse finds himself one more, he's Rallen in a 2-on-1. Such low HP on this player right now. I can't imagine there's a whole lot he can do here, but he is going to go for it nonetheless. Creeping around this smokes. Possibly spots out Sixer. I don't think he does. Right out in the open, he finds the first, but trade comes in instantly from Sixter behind the sandbags. They play that setup perfectly, and LDLC put their second down.
Working out well in the end towards that A site, and LDLC starting to build up a relatively healthy bank. It was a rather expensive round in the last with 4 dying, so at least that's the silver lining for Illuminar, but their cash is a mixed bag itself. Roland might be able to drop Deagles across to his team should they want them, but it's the eco outside of those upgraded pistols and body armor. LDLC looking like they'll be able to get the 3rd round here, and Illuminar definitely trying to deny that tied scoreline at this point. They're trying to aggress into mid as well with that standard pistol play, but Lambert is waiting here with a Molotov in hand. Could get caught off guard, but Innocent just misses the timing.
Unfortunate stuff. Could have been an early pick from Illuminar there. Instead, still a 5 versus 5, but they've taken a lot of control early on. They can maintain this mid-control. They might be able to isolate Lambert here again. He's all by himself. There's no trade potential if he falls here, but with the MAC-10, he might actually just prevail, and that's exactly what he does. Finds himself both frags. Gets himself a nice little economy boost as well with that MAC-10. Illuminar now 2 men down. Desperate to find themselves something. Alan getting aggressive over towards Ramp. There are 2 players here. He seems to sniff them out, but as he spams through the wall, not going to happen at all for him. Body and Lambert finding themselves 2 more of their own. And Mao's last alive. 1 versus 5. Really here, he just wants to do a little bit of damage, see if he can find himself an AK that he could go and save. I think that's very unlikely at this point, though.
Might be inclined to agree with you on that one. This force, well, it wasn't really a force. It was an eco, a couple of pistol investment from Illuminar, and they weren't really able to get much done with it. Maus is still going to be creeping around, but perhaps saving his body armor more important than hunting down a rifle at this point in time, just so that he doesn't have to reinvest in that next round. He might hold for an exit kill on to Lambert, but instead it is the MAC-10 that finds the advantage. LDLC finding their 3rd round with that kill, and Illuminar now looking to deny that tied scoreline. A loss here could severely damage their economy, so the Polish side looking all of a sudden in a little bit of trouble here on Vertigo.
How they came out with such a strong start. And I actually thought that off of that, they could kind of steamroll it a bit, because they took the first 3 rounds. Of course, that's expected. But off of the top of that, they just completely destroyed the buy round from LDLC.
Saw that. The banner from our partners over at Hellcase. You can use those codes to save more and get what you deserve. Afro getting what he deserves in this round as he sprints into the A-bomb site, and Body finds the 2nd kill. Snacks and Roland have replied for 2, though. It's not yet safe for the French to plant in this A site. Smoke providing cover, but Snacks is still here. He's trying for that spam, and Lambert is only on 10 HP, but unfortunately, luck not on the Polish AWP's side at the moment. At least LDLC can't get the bomb plant. That's the silver lining here, but they're actually rotating off to B, and this could be a tactical error.
It really could be. LDLC, they've just thrown a couple of flashes, though, which will confirm to Illuminar that they're at least still there. Snack's got a nice little gap through that smoke. Might be able to spot something out, but as the Molotov comes in, he's forced off the angle. The bomb will go down now, and the spam isn't going to come through. Mouse will take out Lambert, though. He's so low, and Sixer gets taken down to 3 HP. He gets eliminated in due time, and Hadji finds himself 1 more. It's a 1 versus 1 now. Rallan swings out before the smoke blooms, and Hadji capitalizes. LDLC clutch up that last round, take things 4-4, and now Illuminar, no money in the bank to invest into this one. LDLC might actually be able to pull away and take a lead here.
Well played there by Hadji in the clutch, but it was a risky strategy from LDLC. Sixer peeking out, received that M4 dink, and if he didn't land his shot, that round definitely could have swung the other way. Thankfully, both him and Hadji go big in the round, and it is enough to put their 4th on the scoreboard. Illuminar now looking for the timeout to break down some of this T-side momentum and just give themselves a little bit of a pause and a mental reset and a little bit of a discussion. What should we do for the remainder of the half? Let's take the eco in this round, and then when we do get the guns out next, we played the start of that round very well. It just deteriorated after they put down that T-side utility in the late round. So if we can figure out a counter for those Molotovs, sort out our peaks, sort out the timing just a little bit on that retake, then maybe we'll have a better chance in this upcoming round.
Of course, this is a bit of a must-win map for Illuminar. Being one of LDLC's weakest, one of Illuminar's strongest. You don't want to be heading into Inferno and map down. As they come into this one with the Deagles. couple of players buying the Kevlar if they can afford it, but majority not. So I wouldn't necessarily class this as a force buy. Just getting down to the 2K mark, making sure you can afford to invest into the next. Oh, Veggie, a fantastic headshot onto body to open things up. They can continue this with the Deagles. They might be able to make this work. You really can't count them out. Some fantastic aimers on this side that can make it work just with the hand cannons. Veggie spotting out another as well in the form of Afro. Continues to jiggle peek this angle. The nade going to do a little bit of damage. That is going to force him off. For now, ILLUMINAR, they've run down the clock. They've taken a fair amount of control. Snacks on this angle might be able to find one. Oh, he's not able to do that for now, though. Oh, he actually does. I thought he was absolutely dead and out there.
Okay. It's going down in the B bomb site. The Deagles from ILLUMINAR doing work at the moment. Roland missing the follow-up shot onto Lambert, and that could be the breeding room LDLC need. Roland tagged down to 18, but not removed until Sixer arrives in the site with his AK, but Innocent is up close, and there's a second Deagle in the form of Veggie in the site. Sixer's found Innocent, but Veggie on 54's found his teammate, and on low HP, Sixer has to plant the bomb, peeks up, and Veggie gets it done with the Deagle. Triple kill from the star Polish player, at least so far on Vertigo, and it seems almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy with the Deagle rounds at the minute. If you're the T side up against the CT pistol buy, you either risk charging straight into a bomb site, running into a crossfire, and having the spam whittle you down, or you go slowly, just like LDLC did, and get picked off one at a time by those headshots. Veggie, though, great work at the end there. Perfectly played against Sixer, who still peeked up to take the fight, but Veggie was able to win an A.
Yeah, all off the back of those initial picks from Veggie. They're beautiful shots from him. That was such a ridiculous round for them to win, in fact, because it wasn't even really a force buy. They just bought some Deagles into an eco, so plenty of money for them to work with now. Snacks find that opening pick onto body, gives them that man advantage. Mouse, though, burning in the flames while flashed, gets traded out. Brings things into a 4-on-4. Rallen in this smoke might be able to push through and deny this bomb plant, but he walks straight into the barrel of Sixer. And Hadji finds himself one more. This may be all said and done for ILLUMINAR in this round at least. A 4 versus 2. They're locked out the bomb site. They've got the angles, but for now, I don't think anyone's going to be peeking from LDLC. Snacks has already made the save call. Veggie, I think, will come in shortly after. Really wants to find himself something. They could definitely damage the economy of their opponents on the exit here. LDLC are wise to it. They exit down to the stairs. And Sixer might be able to take out Veggie here in a nice unexpected angle. That's one of the rifles out of play. However, Snacks should be able to save this orb and bring it into the next round.
Snacks the only one with kills from ILLUMINAR in that round. He got the first kill of the round, but no more were able to be found by his side. LDLC tied up again at 5 apiece, and while ILLUMINAR might look in slight trouble at the moment, it's their T side that is strongest. But with that said, there is the caveat of Sixer's AWPing on Vertigo towards that A ramp. LDLC are able to consistently deny sides entries with their AWP, so it could be dangerous for ILLUMINAR if they don't have a huge round bank to work off. If they end up losing out on this half, for example, and then losing the T-side pistol, they could quite feasibly be in a dire situation. So a decent score necessary. I'd say at minimum 8 rounds in the half for ILLUMINAR to be able to call this one a success. And with the pistols here, I mean, they're praying for Snacks' AWP to find the opening kills, and then the pistols have less work to do.
They really are. The thing is well, there's already been a gap noticed over towards A. They can take this ramp control. It's only the Deagles to hold it up. Veggie needs to find himself something here if Afro aggresses. At the moment, they're just playing the waiting game. Neither wants to peek right now. Afro throwing that Molotov will clear out Veggie from close. Doesn't eliminate him completely, though. Now the nades come in and they start to push. Veggie in this corner needs to land the shots. Only connects to the body, but does a lot of damage. Innocent could clean up here with this P250, but he's unable to. They lock them out the bomb site, and I think they might even just go for this early save call here. The pistols can try and protect that AWP. They can just try and bring this into the next round.
Looks like the right call here from ILLUMINAR. Their chances of retaking that A-bomb site against 5 alive Ts, who still have utility to use as well, still have smokes and flashes, and a Molotov to drop at your feet. Just no chance of being able to get that done. So they decide to save the forward and use the P250s to hunt a little bit more actively for some exits. Snax is far too aggressive with that AWP. He's very lucky indeed to be alive at this point in time, as he has a Molotov to drop at his feet and run away. That was a little bit too close for comfort, but the AWP is saved forward. LDLC, though, for the first time in this map, have the lead.
Well, they fought hard to get it. Sitting 6-5 now. Especially on their opponent's map pick. They're looking relatively strong. First time in a little while, though, we are seeing a full buy against a full buy. Not as much utility available for the ILLUMINAR side, but it should still be enough as they put 3 over towards ramp early. Snax wanted to go for that pick, you could see it, but as he was flashed, it's all on Veggie to find these openers. He lands it onto Afro. A sea of smokes in front of him provides him with the cover needed. They take that man advantage, they take the ramp control. LDLC heading over towards middle. Rallen's got himself a nice angle here, but in the meantime, so much control being gained from ILLUMINAR. If Rallen can land this initial shot on mid, it would be huge.
Certainly would. The Molotov forces him away, but he drops the smoke to try and make LDLC think he's playing around the window. It's actually Snax who was there, and the AWP finds the necessary kill. Yeah, furthering the difficulties LDLC are having in this round. Innocent now finding Haji. Brings it into a 5-on-2 in ILLUMINAR's favor. Body hunting for an entry towards that B site, but there's a mid crossfire just waiting to devastate Sixer. And now the French player left alone. Only 4 kills so far in the map and no more to be found in this round. ILLUMINAR tied up again.
They seem to be pretty consistent with these buy rounds. As soon as they actually have the weapons to work with, actually have the utility to work with, they know exactly how to use it. And that round they played it perfectly. The early ramp smokes come in, the early aggression comes in, and then even when they're somewhat overwhelmed on middle, again, they just play it perfectly. They don't have to contest it. They just go for that initial peak, make sure they're playing the numbers game, throw the utility, and then play off of it throughout the remainder of the round. Sixer going for this early pick. How on earth does he miss that? Snax somehow lands a ridiculous reaction shot to find that opening pick. He is not missing anything today. And Veggie in this corner will have heard the player get tagged up by the nade. Does a little bit more damage to Afro. Can't quite finish him off, but his position is so perfect right now. He's able to only find one as the smoke fades. Afro can trade it, but ILLUMINAR already with an early advantage. They've got the man advantage. Afro's super low on HP as well. He'll get taken down in due time by Snax. Now a 4 versus 2 for them to work with. And, well, Hadji and Lambert, I really don't fancy their chances here.
I certainly don't either, especially now that Innocent has just cleaned a pair of them up with that M4A1S. It all started just disastrously for LDLC, really. Sixer whiffing that AWP shot, the bullet just flying past Snax's shoulder. He lands the reactionary shot, and now ILLUMINAR are in the lead once again. 2 rounds remaining in the half, and LDLC choose to force into the penultimate. That gives ILLUMINAR the potential here for a 9-6 scoreline with a round victory, and they've picked up the double AWPs to try and secure that. Veggie, the star of the show so far on that M4, though, for ILLUMINAR. 15 kills so far in the half.
Well, it seemed like LDLC taking the lead, gave ILLUMINAR the kick up the backside they needed, but this round, very, very quick pace from LDLC somehow has allowed them to swarm this A-bomb site and take out all 3 players without a single casualty. A little bit of damage dealt, but not really a lot for ILLUMINAR to work with coming into this 2v5. Rallen up close, not going to be expecting Body to be here, and Body's claimed himself an AK. Now, Mao's last alive with this AWP. I think he just goes for this save here. In fact, that's exactly what he's going to do. No point in even trying to work anything into this round. He'll fall right back, allow LDLC to get to 7. That means that it will be an 8-7 half. Just depends which way it leans.
Well, they are hunting Mouse down actively in this round. They want to remove that AWP. But it looks like he may have done a good enough job at hiding himself away. The cash just about there, enough for ILLUMINAR to be unchallenged on their buy. Veggie might have a bit of limited utility, but there should even be enough cash to drop him an M4 over, so that isn't an issue. LDLC, after winning that force as well, should be able to bring themselves all the guns they're looking for forward as Lambert picks himself up an AK in the end, and it's about as close as it can be, guaranteed at the end of this half, just determining now which side is going to have that one-round advantage.
With this double up setup from ILLUMINAR early, might be able to do the work. Veggie though, getting aggressive towards ramp again. But those potentially to actually push through that smoke, not going to happen for now. Instead, LDLC head over towards the B-bomb site. All 5 players there, but Mouse has done so much damage early on. Found himself a kill and the tag through the smoke. Lambert pushing through here, needs to find something on the entry, and Rallen's got such a good position, and Mouse still doing work. Rallen gets 2, tries to get the 3rd, but Sixer too quick on that AWP. Still a 3 versus 1 for him to clutch up though, and as Veggie's up from behind, he pushed through ramp and played that flank perfectly. ILLUMINAR are the ones to pull ahead and go 8-7 at half-time. All things considered, not a bad half from LDLC, especially after going 4 rounds down. 8-7, couldn't really be a whole lot closer. All comes down to who wins this pistol round and can pull away in the second.
You're absolutely right, considering it's not their map pick and it's one of their worst maps in the pool. LDLC have done a good job at keeping it competitive, at least in the first half, but now they face their real challenge. The CT side of Vertigo, on average, they manage a 30% win rate on CT side rounds on this map. So really, historically speaking, it's not looking like a great side for them. But Sixer, he's the highest fragging player on the French side, and it's his AWPing that tends to be the most crucial element of that French defense. So if he's awake in this map, then perhaps LDLC have a chance on this CT side. The run boost attempted by Snacks early on, and Mouse unfortunately failing towards that B bomb site. So now ILLUMINAR head over towards A.
Well, it ends up being a bit of a blessing in disguise, because off the back of that run boost coming in, the rotations are actually called. The A site's now completely empty, and ILLUMINAR can charge straight onto this. Pretty much scot-free. Sixer is there fast, but unable to deny the cross, and the bomb's going to be able to go down. Retake comes in now for LDLC, but they're a man down. They need to connect these shots, and Veggie's found himself an M4, and he has landed a crispy one onto body. A 4 versus 3 now for them to work with, as Rallen finds a lot of damage. The dink comes in, he can't quite convert the kill, tapping away. Somehow still alive, and that's really all he needs to do right now. Sixer does finally finish him off. The bomb defuse coming in, he has got a kit, so it's almost doable. Mouse, though, the knife comes through, and Hadji falls. It actually came pretty close, but that knife kill going to give him plenty of money going into the second round of the half.
Oh yeah, 4 utility and an AK for Mouse, and that was really close indeed. You can see him missing those Glock shots and just thinking, you know what, maybe it's not worth it with the bullets. We'll get the knife out, we're close enough, and well, thankfully for ILLUMINAR, that was the choice that he made. 9-7 up as the force comes through from the CT side. ILLUMINAR now with the opportunity for an 11-7 scoreline at the end of the next round, should they manage to defeat the force here and go up against the incoming French eco. They have a couple of SMGs, but they might want to use the AKs up first this time, as the Deagles at range can do intense damage, as we've already seen so far in this map.
Oh, the Deagle rounds from ILLUMINAR on their CT side were formidable. Let's see if LDLC can do the same. They've got the Kevlar to work with this time. And they are against, well, 3 rifles, a couple of SMGs. Right now, ILLUMINAR playing this round quite well, though. Not giving up anything too early. Slowly but surely taking that control. And, well, I think the factor is here with LDLC is in ILLUMINAR's Deagle rounds that they came out on top with, they were contesting that control early on, getting aggressive, trying to make those picks work. This time LDLC just seems to be giving up a lot of control over towards A. They've got the sight lines, but as soon as this wall of smokes comes in, they'll be pretty much locked out the site, and ILLUMINAR will just be able to plant. There's the wall of smokes. All they can do now is spam through them. They are all stacked up though. They're actually going to push through the smokes with this flash.
They try and get aggressive, they certainly do, but it's denied completely early and then followed up by Snacks's Mac 10. Hadji walks closer into the smoke, but I think Roland may just have spotted him. Body will get one kill in this round at the very minimum, but now he will be in turn removed. The force denied from LDLC by that wall of smokes, and now as the eco comes through, this should be Illuminar's 11th, all said and done. LDLC now under a lot of pressure actually, because when the full gun round comes through from them in round 19, if they lose out on that, it's going to be 12-7 to Illuminar, with LDLC looking at another eco. Definitely a bad start to be on Vertigo.
At this point, Illuminar just trying to hold on to this momentum. If they can get all 5 pistol kills here without taking a casualty, that would be absolutely fantastic. Snacks, though, does fall. He's the man with the Mac 10, though. Pretty expendable player at this point, as Rallen gets taken out as well. Actually, this is working out quite well for LDLC. Now in a 2 versus 2, they've retrieved an AK and a UMP. Of course, no Kevlar to work with, so this is going to be a difficult clutch if they go for it. But a 2 versus 2 nonetheless. This is a very good eco, even if both players fall here. But actually an opportunity for them to pull this one off.
You're absolutely right. A very surprising amount of damage dealt early on by LDLC, but the silver lining for Illuminar is that they have to push back into the A bomb site. Lambert taps the bomb, which all but gives his position away, and he can't find any more than the 3 kills that were found by Afro in that round. LDLC make it perhaps more expensive than we were expecting, but Illuminar still managed to close it out, and now in the full gun round, they are going to be hunting down that 12-7 scoreline. Sixer has the AWP available, and as the critical component of this LDLC defense, he has to get an opening kill somewhere, whether it be towards A, B, or mid. He has to find an early kill, otherwise LDLC might be in trouble if they allow Illuminar too much map control.
They really are, these 2 players in mid early on as well, hunting for this information. Presence over towards ramp, keeping these 3 players busy. Innocent almost finds himself the first pick. Sixer does well to land that headshot. All 3 coming in. Now with the bomb on his back here. Allen, though, hits a beautiful headshot. Hadji, the last line of defense on the B site, gets taken out as well. His head ripped clean off his body. The man advantage now for Illuminar. They've got the B site. Afro smoked off this angle, trying to find some kind of sight line. Had an idea that Veggie might be in this corner. He still does. As this smoke starts to dissipate, he might be able to find this pick. It all comes down to timing. Flash goes over, and he actually gets taken out. Veggie plays that situation perfectly. 4 versus 2 now, and Sixer and Body, I think, just go for the save call here. Body is allowed a free kill. Might even go for a knife kill or something here. But now just going to play the trigger discipline, get himself 2 for 1. Very, very well played. That's going to initiate the retake, as Sixer's found one of his own. Rallen, actually a tall order on his hands now.
Oh, that was very close, because Roland was miles away. He wasn't even on the B bomb site. LDLC weren't aware of it, but if they'd have sprinted straight into that site and defused, they'd have actually won that round. Roland was all the way on A. He'd have had nothing to do with it at all. And unfortunately, they're just the time falling foul to LDLC. They really could have won that with these 3 kills. The double from Body and Sixer finding that on the AWP. That was the free site, but of course, they just don't have the info to go for it. A crushingly lost round from LDLC and an expensive one for Illuminar. But as long as they keep winning, they keep going from strength to strength in this half. LDLC have to drop down onto the pistols supporting Body's M4 now, as Illuminar look to continue building their momentum.
5-round gap for LDLC to close now. It seems to be extending further every round that's played. Just down to these pistols, the M4 on Body. Going to be a difficult one to convert. Afro, though, look at this position early on. He's got aggressive. He's right in the back lines. He should be good for at least 1. It all comes down to whether he can convert more than that, though, as the flash is good, and he might be able to get himself more. He finds the first, does a lot of damage onto the rest of the players. 3 players now. Potential 1 hits to these Deagles, and LDLC. A lifeline's been given to them. Illuminar, all of the info's there as well. The gamble rotation comes in from LDLC, but as they start to disperse, ILLUMINAR do the same. 45 seconds on the clock now. They need to start making a decision, but, well, they've been shaken up early on by that Deagle of Afro.
They have body as well at the moment. LDLC aggressing through mid into T-Spawn. He's going to go for the secondary B flank in this round and hope that his side do enough damage with the pistols to deny ILLUMINAR on the way in. But the bomb is actually heading over towards that A bomb site where Sixer currently resides alone. My word, Lambert's found both of them with the P250. Both of the B players go down for ILLUMINAR, and LDLC now rotating back over towards A have just 2 to find with 4 alive. Sixer desperate to creep in with this Deagle, but ILLUMINAR have the smokes available to deploy, and once again LDLC have to attempt to retake absent vision.
Going to be a difficult one to pull off. Innocent, though, has got the angle on Lambert if he aggresses through here. This is actually very good positioning. Snacks on the bomb site. Of course, the flash goes over. Snacks can capitalize on it. Finds himself 2. Innocent finds 1 as well. Now a 1 versus 1. No time on the clock. Hadji has no kit as well. This has actually worked out for ILLUMINAR, and Innocent finds himself the last. I love that post-plant setup. You know that you haven't got the HP. You know that you haven't got the numbers to work with. So instead, you have 1 player sitting on that bomb site, just with his head tucked down. The flash goes over. He swings out and makes it work. ILLUMINAR somehow pull off that round against all odds, put themselves onto 13 and extend the gap to 6. LDLC, well, they've got a lot to do here to close this one out. Sixer trying to do so with the early pick. Can't connect it through the smoke, though.
Back-to-back rounds for ILLUMINAR look dangerous at the start, but are recovered at the end. Double AWPs now out for the CT side. Sixer and Hadji, the players utilizing them. Hadji holding it solo towards B, as LDLC are actually going heavy on the mid commitment in this round. And that could be the right call. Vegi's certainly waiting for some mid-aggression, as that flank towards the B site definitely stung ILLUMINAR in the prior round. But for the moment, the T side just holding with nades ready to collapse into a bomb site upon their call. Molotovs and flashes going into the A ramp as ILLUMINAR looking to clear that portion of the map, with Vegi pushing out mid straight into this defense from LDLC. The flash communicating to ILLUMINAR that there's at least 1 player, but Lambert aggressive might be able to find Vegi here. Instead, it's the T-side AK who comes off better in that engagement. Body able to clean it up at least back into a 4-on-4, but 1 opening kill still favors the T-side as it spreads out that defense.
It's come into a 4v4 now. It's looking like ILLUMINAR are leaning over towards this A side of the map. Afro needs to find this frag. He's able to do exactly that. Mao's now out of the equation. Sixer with a nice angle finds Rallen. Well, ODFC seem to be dealing with this push very, very well. Completely shut it down, keep 3 players alive, retain that double up setup, and Body retrieves an AK. So, pretty perfect stuff from LDLC there. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that in terms of the A defenses. And ILLUMINAR, despite the fact that they've strung the last 2 together, off of that round loss, actually have no money in the bank to invest into this one. They are going to choose to, though. A couple of players there on double eco, so Innocent pulls out an AK, the rest on the pistols. Decent amount of utility on a couple of these players as well. Looking like they head over towards A early.
You hit that nail on the head there. Despite winning those past 2 rounds, they did so with only 1 and 2 players surviving respectively, so their bank taking a pretty hefty beating when they do eventually take that loss, because their loss bonus of course reset, and they've been depleting their cash reserves with the continued investment. All the pistols looking for pace on this A ramp. You have to believe as soon as Vegi misses that first shot, they're going to try and close the distance. But Afro, the flash is great for him to find at least 1 kill. Body cleaning up with 2 more, but at least Innocent's got 1 in reply. 2 versus 3 for ILLUMINAR. With a minute left on the clock, they still have time and space to work with. Firepower and 2 AWPs still alive on the CT side, though.
That's really the beauty of this situation. Obviously, the early jump spot from Afro gains him that information and calls the rotations over. But now so much time has been spent that... Oh, Hadji's gone back over to the B site, and this could work out for ILLUMINAR. Lambert's really the key player here that could completely shut this one down. It all comes down to timing from him, and... Oh, timing doesn't work out for him. 2 versus 2 now. Both of these players with the AWPs as well, Sixer and Hadji. Could make this one work, but it's looking like ILLUMINAR might actually head back over towards the B site. In fact, it's only Innocent. He's going for a huge wraparound. There's only 15 seconds on the clock. He really hasn't got time for this.
He's trying to sell the fake. He knows that time is really limited for his side, so he's trying to sell the fake on B, but they've spotted the bomb on A, and now he has to sprint around. That's it. It's all over. A risky strategy for sure for ILLUMINAR, and it just does not work out, unfortunately. Not enough time remaining in that execution to sell the fake, and critically, when you've only got 2 players left alive, when you only hear 1 smoke go down on the bomb site, you can sort of suspect that maybe they are split up. When you hear 2, then it's confirmed, but just the 1... It's just so obvious at that point that there could only be 1 person lurking. And unfortunately for ILLUMINAR, they didn't have too many options in that round. So I appreciate at least the creativity. It doesn't work out for them, unfortunately. They do decent economic damage at removing the rifles, but it looks like they're going to invest back into this round with Innocent's AK. That would be the wrong call.
That really would be. Of course, they've got a few rounds to play with, but they don't want to be throwing them away. LDLC aren't miles behind. Just trailing by 4, and in a game like Counter-Strike, very easy to take those 4. Just by the very nature of the way the economy works. ILLUMINAR force into this one. They won't have the money to buy into the next. They'll have to eco around. By the time they can pull out their next gun round, LDLC will be sitting on 11. Only a 2-round gap, and the buy round would be able to close that. So pretty dangerous stuff right now. ILLUMINAR, though, for now, remain in control. And LDLC's economy kept on the reins a little bit, just down to the fact that, obviously, last round they took 3 casualties. Means that Body and Afro had to reinvest into this one. Lambert is going to have to do the same. I wouldn't be surprised if Hadji drops him over an M4, so that he's got some utility to work with. We'll have to wait and see, though. If that is the case, then actually their economy won't be in the best of states.
It's still stretched for LDLC. That's the takeaway from the last round, because they lost 3 players in what was already a heavy investment on those double AWPs. Then it has obviously taken its toll on that CT money. They do exactly what you suggest and drop Lambert over an M4 so he can get a full complement of utility on the board, and it looks like ILLUMINAR are going to make the decision to eco. That's the right call, well, for my money and for their money, quite literally, in the server, as they're going to be needing it to buy up the weapons in this next round, and just hoping again for some opening pistol shots. It's not impossible unless you've got Hadji and Body at close range with an AWP and an M4, in which case maybe they'll try and shut things down immediately. They find the first 2 kills of this anti-eco, but so far ILLUMINAR are undeterred from the B-bomb site.
Nice setup from those 2 players there early on, and well, had ILLUMINAR just pushed straight in, they would have had the angle first. They might have been able to come out on top there, but instead they all stacked up, waited for the flash to come over, and well, Hadji was never going to miss that shot. Still on this angle as well. Might be able to find himself one more as Mal's jiggle peeking around the corner. Hadji does come out on top with it. Does take a little bit of damage, but a 5 versus 2 for them to work with now. They should just be able to clean this one up. Rallen picks up that last AK. Wants to try and do some damage here. There's no point in him saving it. They've got the money to buy into the next. If he can take one of these AWPs away, it'd be huge. LDLC wouldn't be able to afford another one. Right now, though, nothing really being given to him. The smoke starts to dissipate. They're still spamming away. And it's Hadji to finish things off. LDLC keep all 5 players alive. Does their economy a whole lot of good. But ILLUMINAR, this will be the buy-up for them. No AWP available on any player right now, so they will just be down to the AKs if they do invest into this one. But they have proved that that is enough. They're not actually going to buy into this one, though. They want that AWP.
That's the really interesting choice. They want the AWP and they want that utility as well, by the looks of things. I think because Innocent was just slightly lower than the rest of his side, I think ILLUMINAR were already thinking, we're compromising our buy by not bringing an AWP here, and if Innocent has to drop down onto a Galil for the extra utility, then it's really not worth it. When we have the rounds to work with, let's take the upgraded pistols into this, keep trying to check that LDLC economy, but that's exactly what they have to do, because the last round was won, as you mentioned, with a clean sheet from LDLC. If something similar can happen in this one, that's a couple of critical failures from ILLUMINAR, because it's really strengthened that CT bank heading into the all-important final stages of the map.
I wouldn't count out these pistols just yet as the utility reigns over onto B, and that's really the deciding factor here. They have it to work with this time. Snack's very up close and personal, but Body's able to deal with him, and he gets himself a second with that USP as well. Keeping the numbers in LDLC's favor, but that flash is going to allow them to cross and get that bomb down, and that's so important right now. Of course, with that investment, they were looking to win the round, but the bomb plant gives them more money to work with in the next. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite finish off Hadji there in that situation. Gets tagged down to 5 HP. LDLC now, though, slowly but surely closing this gap. Now within 2 rounds. And ILLUMINAR, they have to buy here to contest it.
That was beautiful from Body with the USP. Triple from him in the round, and this is where it gets dangerous now. Especially for ILLUMINAR, 13-11 ahead. There's a 2-round differential. LDLC definitely have momentum advantage. They're streaking rounds together. They have double AWPs out, and most importantly, they can start breaking your economy with buys. Snacks needed that kill, and thank the Lord he found it. Man advantage in the Polish favor. There's still a sniper rifle up on the French side, though, and this round really could determine this map, Josh. If ILLUMINAR win it, they're 14-11 up and looking to close down map point. But if LDLC pick it up, they're in a great spot to tie up the scoreline.
Yeah, if LDLC win this round, they'll actually be in a fantastic position. However, if ILLUMINAR take it, it doesn't really mean a huge amount for the sheer fact that LDLC have got so much money in the bank. They can buy straight back into it. They won't even have to worry about AWPs and things like that. They'll be readily available if they want to go for a double setup again. They've actually got another shot. They're trying to level this one back up. With a 2-man disadvantage in this round, it's not looking all too good for them. Afro does find himself 1 back onto Mouse. That initiates the push through from Hadji as well. Veggie desperately here trying to trade it. Finds himself the first. Can't get the second though. Hadji in that corner. Keeps it even trading, but oh my goodness. Rallen, he's walked straight through the smoke. Only good for 1 though, and now it's a 1 versus 1. I have no idea how we've ended up in this situation, but a very messy series of events. But Snacks in this horrible situation where he has to clutch it up for his side.
That smoke, I'm not sure whether it's going to cover the shadow, because that's the angle Hadji's playing for. He's holding this so that he can see Snacks' shadow when he picks up the bomb, and the smoke has just covered that enough for him to look for the plant now. He's bought room for himself to put the bomb down, and now has the advantage in the post plant, but the position spotted. He turns around. Snacks at the wrong time. The smoke dissipates and he loses control. The last possible second, Hadji looking for an AWP, looking for a defuse kit before securing that defuse in the end. It was so messy. Lambert walks forward through a smoke as Rallen walks forward, but then Lambert walks back as well. It gets so messy. Eventually Hadji can clean it up and hold the clutch. Now LDLC with the chance to tie things up.
That was a very bizarre round, to say the least. Should not have come out like that, even in that 1 versus 1 situation. Snacks, he was just right out in the open. He had the cover behind the boxes and instead tried to walk all the way back to ramp whilst the smoke was dissipating. Really bizarre way to play that 1 versus 1. LDLC now within 1 of leveling things up. As we go right back the other way. ILLUMINAR, they have got the money to reinvest into this one though. Of course, they went for that double save. Means they've got money behind them. Of course, the loss bonus too helps that out. So an AWP is available on a couple of these players if they want to buy one and drop it over towards Snacks. Rifles on the rest. They need to just change something up here. They've thrown away a lot of rounds in a row. If they lose this map, if they let this one slip, then they have got their work cut out for them on Inferno.
They certainly do, Illuminar. Inferno looking like they're permaban. All things considered, it's their least played map, according to HLTV, in the past 3 months. So LDLC with perhaps the punish pick there with this second map of the series, and Illuminar perhaps starting to sweat now as they're at risk of losing control of their pick. Something I will say is that LDLC have done a good job at keeping maps competitive, but have struggled so far in Malta vibes at closing them out when it matters towards those latter stages. And this is where we'll see how much work LDLC have been doing recently and just how effective the team leadership is on that roster. If they can manage this comeback, if they can tie up the scoreline, yes, that's the important factor, but it's about really bringing it over the line still. They have to pull it out of the bag here, and Poddy spotting out perhaps more than he bargained for, has lost his teammate and now is trying to retreat up to the A site. Sixer, though, his AWP should be able to defend him here as, oh, he can't quite punish Mouse, who now has found Body as the follow-up.
Really smart initiative play here from Illuminar after that LDLC smoke goes in deep. LDLC's real goal there was to just try and take that control, force Illuminar back and have a lot of leg room to work with, but instead Illuminar responded to that with just pure aggression. A flash goes through it. They regain that ramp control, keep the pressure on. With a man advantage now as well, a fantastic chance of them getting onto this site. Sixer finds one, but Rallen creeps up underneath this scope to find that frag. Brings things into a 2-on-2 though. Lambert with the no scope pitches out to an AK. And with Mouse on such low HP here, he does actually come out on top with the AWP. Hadji unable to get that trade as well as Mouse falls back just in time. Looking like they are going to head over towards this B bomb site. Definitely a doable clutch for Hadji. But it is certainly a tall order for him to pull it off. He starts to slowly rotate. I don't think he'll be able to get there in time to deny the plant.
It's all about Mouse's prediction of Hadji's positioning. He looks like he's guessed it right, but Hadji still found that opening kill. AWP removed. Snacks at least knows what he's working with. He knows the angle, and he has the flashes. Peeks his head up, but I don't think Hadji spotted that. I think Snacks just made his way behind the pillar. Definitely spotted that, though, did Hadji. And now working with the positioning. He's trying to land the shots, but it's Snacks who comes out on top. AK headshot, and the 14th round go Illuminar's way, but that CT economy is not quite broken yet.
There plenty of money built up from the past couple of rounds, so losing that one isn't going to cause them too many problems. Sixer can still pull out the AWP. Only real deficit is Lambert's down to this FAMAS and hasn't got a huge amount of utility to work with, but it's not too bad. I think the only real issue here is the lack of offensive utility. They've got one Molotov and one HE to work with here. They need to make sure they use these smokes and flashes effectively. The deep ramp smoke is going to give Lambert a lot of room to work with. Means they can take that early ramp control. And actually, they've done the same over on B. Illuminar are really boxed in right now. Need to try and regain some of this control because Hadji's close on B. Lambert's close over towards A. They're actually in a fantastic position right here, but as Mouse breaks it, ODLC forced to give him a little bit more respect, fall back a little. Afro's in a fantastic off angle. There's no way Illuminar expect this.
Well, there's been continued aggression from LDLC towards this A ramp in the past couple of rounds, so Illuminar are definitely tentative. There hasn't been a boost before, but it looks as though they definitely expect there to be a player. Afro, how many can he get? Only one is the answer. He does a bit of damage onto Veggie. Mouse is on 10 HP, sure, but the man advantage still with Illuminar. As now it's Body who's going aggressive towards mid. Looks for Snacks, but oh, he's got no ammo in his gun. Body, what on earth is he doing? Peeking that with only 2 bullets in the weapon. Lambert's found a kill elsewhere somehow. On just 14 HP, the FAMAS retreats, and now Illuminar adjusts towards the A-bomb site.
The pressure clearly starting to get to LDLC. The second smoke only just goes up, which means The one to the right's going to fade a whole lot earlier than the one to the left. Either way, they're able to get the bomb down in time. Lambert finds himself a lucky shot through the smoke onto Snacks as well, and his body pushes right through. Actually cleans up and does all the work. Huge initiative play from Body there. To get up on top of that box, take matters into his own hands and come out on top there. There was a secondary AWP available for him to pick up, but he didn't want it. Instead, they opt for these two AKs, just the single AWP on Sixer. LDLC able to put themselves within one. Again, they get themselves onto 13. ILLUMINAR. Are they going to buy into this one? A couple of players have got the money to do so, but a couple of players only on 3,700. This is going to be a sketchy buy if they go for it.
It's such a gamble to buy, because if you don't buy, you're giving away the tied scoreline eventually to LDLC at 14-14. Any round can be pivotal at that point in time. As soon as you give that to LDLC, they need just one to guarantee themselves overtime at the very minimum. They want to charge into the B bomb site. ILLUMINAR this time. Haji trying to hold true early on. Him and Body just holding left click, and look at the work being done in this B site. Snacks with a P250 left alone now. LDLC, that should definitely be enough for 14-0.
ILLUMINAR just tried to swarm it like their opponents did in the first half, but it doesn't work out for them at all. A solid defense there from the CT side, completely shutting that one down. You sit 14-14 right now, a whole lot closer than I was really expecting this map to go. If LDLC can take it, they'll be in a fantastic position going into Inferno. This is really a must-win map for ILLUMINAR. Round number 29, full investments from both sides. Trying to work out, they could have pulled out an AWP if they wanted to, ILLUMINAR. Instead, they opt for the full AK, full utility setup. The timeout comes in from LDLC. Regain composure. Talk about what they're going to do this round to make this one work, to just put them over the line, put themselves onto match point and secure this overtime at the very least. The double AWP setup for them to work with. Rifles and utility readily available. Good opportunity for them to put themselves onto that magic number 15 right now.
The primary issue here for ILLUMINAR, other than LDLC's score, is their money. They've left them with enough in the bank to keep a buy going regardless of the outcome of this round. If LDLC lost it, they'd still be able to challenge overtime relatively well. Mouse tagged down to 51. Off the back of the early utility, and Snacks peeking up top. Aggressive he goes, and on 86, Haji's looking to push the wrap round into him. He does the tag, but can't secure the kill as Snacks is looking to deal that follow-up damage with the tracers. Deploying so much utility to try and distract, but it's Lambert in mid who executes first and finds the opening kill. Secondary AWP for LDLC ringing out bigger. Snacks is trying to aggress into the B bomb site. Haji's now cleaned him up, and eventually he will fall in the site as Rawlin gets body, but Lambert's found another now. 3-on-2 in the B site to fight for either side's map point.
A lot of damage dealt early on. It took them a while to find the kills though. That puts him in a 3-on-2 situation. Afro coming in from behind. Might not have spotted the player going above him there. Neither of them spotting each other out. Oh my goodness. What is going on right now? Surely one of them turns around. Mouse, come on, he's just behind you. This is unbelievable. Veggie actually gonna fall. That is such a huge mistake from ILLUMINAR. So unfortunate. Mao's now a 2 versus 1 for him to clutch up. The defuse is already coming in and he's accepted his fate at this point. He finds himself the first, but no time to spray through the smoke. And LDLC actually do it. They put themselves onto map point. Money in the bank for ILLUMINAR to buy into this one from that loss bonus, but they need to be converting these rounds, and at the moment they're just unable to do so. LDLC, can they close it out in round number 30, or are we going to overtime in map number 1 of the day?
Well, we will have to wait and see. ILLUMINAR made 2 critical mistakes in that last round. They failed their mid push entirely, and of course, that little blunder towards the end with the movement. Now, the French have the opportunity to upset ILLUMINAR on their map pick, dominate the first map. Well, I say dominate. Fight hard for the first map of the day and push us on to Inferno for their chance to dominate this series 2-0. Afro? Dropping a Molotov is going to deter ILLUMINAR for aggressing for now, and this is great for LDLC map control. 40 seconds gone on the clock, and only now are ILLUMINAR even able to get down towards the bottom of the ramp. Mouse taking hefty nade damage as well, and LDLC doing a good job of eating up this time.
Minute now on the clock. ILLUMINAR all stacked up over towards ramp. No commitments as of yet, but as the nades go over, it gives them some more legroom to work with. They can get into this alley position. Rallen can contest the first frag. All just comes down to this swing. The bomb on Miles' back needs to find these kills. He finds himself the first. Sixer's next in line as he's getting spammed away through the smoke. Needs to connect a shot though as the smoke goes up. Sixer finds the shot just before it blooms. The man advantage for LDLC to work with. 30 seconds on the clock. The bomb will go down. No one can connect the shots onto Rallen through that smoke. But a 4 versus 3 for them to work with. Snack spots out the first though. That's body gone. A 3-on-3 and 2 AWPs on this retake. Not a favourable position for LDLC. Can they pull it off?
The crucial kill about that frag from Snacks, as well as it's for free. He doesn't get traded out. He just brings it straight into a 3-on-3 retake. Roland Blind is punished by Haji. And now they're looking to stick this smoke. Snacks just presses left click and gets it done. Cleans up Sixer as well. And Haji tries to stick the bomb. LDLC time their enemy at the end. They just try and stand in the smoke and commit to the defuse. And ILLUMINAR do enough to clean it up. We're heading to overtime for the first map of these quarterfinals. And that was the play from Snacks. Those 2 kills at the end, getting it done and keeping your side alive on their pick.
I did think when he planted out in the open, it was quite ambitious, but, well, it did one of several things, really. It stopped the nade spams coming in, because LDLC did still have utility to work with, and there's obviously a lot of common angles that people throw a grenade to try and deny the plant behind the boxes. And it also meant that they had a perfect sightline from both angles to deny it. So it meant that Innocent didn't have to swing too far in the open to be able to deny the bomb plant. And Snacks, sitting behind that smoke, knew exactly where the bomb was, had a perfect angle on it. And as soon as that defuse started to come in, he could just spam away and deny it. So ILLUMINAR actually do the work in the final round, have a really, really nice round number 30 to put themselves into overtime, but where was that for the last 6-7 rounds? They've completely thrown this one away. This was really their map for the taking, and now they've got to fight for it in overtime.
Well, they nearly could have lost out on it completely. They did a good job just to remain in things, and I think that last round, more than anything, was dictated by the LDLC placement. You could tell they were almost expecting another B execution to come through because they had one player actively watching those B stairs, and then they had a double mid commitment as well. So definitely perhaps expecting that B execution there, and they had to readjust and rotate into the A site. And I really can't stress it enough, just that one kill Snacks found onto body on the boost, you have no idea how much easier that makes the retake for ILLUMINAR at the site defense, because LDLC, when you have the man advantage in a retake, you don't have to hunt down for the information of those Ts. You can swing a player in first to spot the angle and quickly swing in a second on that refrag, and you can continually do that when you have the man advantage until you're the last person left alive, and you can just get that diffused by body trying to get a little bit greedy, all things considered. It happens all the time on this A site. It's not an uncommon thing to do, boosting on top of that scaffolding and looking for some kills, but it's something that is regularly punished by T sides in defenses. He goes up into that angle, he exposes himself looking to try and punish any repositioning ILLUMINAR players, and unfortunately it's Snacks who cleans him up in that round, and I really think that was a significant contributor towards the retake effort.
Well, from the position that he took there, he really should have been able to get that trade onto Snacks. And had he been able to do that, they would have had a 2 versus 1 to contest against Innocent in that post-plant position. But he was just unable to convert it. Snacks, perfect shots from him.
The odds from our partners over at LootBet still favouring ILLUMINAR, despite the fact that LDLC have fought hard and taken us to overtime. It's all reset now, though. The money, perfect for both sides, which generally favours the CTs, but it also heavily favours the side that's better on this map. Without economic woes, it's all about executions. And if you are the side that has those better tactical drills, you should come out on top on overtime.
Well, the nade stack comes through. Does a huge amount of damage onto Rallen, but Snacks the one to find that initial pick. Almost even trading. Alan's still alive though, and the AWP actually gets dropped over towards him. Means that HP deficit isn't a huge problem. They start to aggress over towards ramp here. Sixer still with this AWP. Should be able to find something if they walk up. For now though, just going to throw that Molotov. Staying on the angle though, actually getting close with this Deagle. This could be a dangerous game. Rallen can't quite connect the shot. And Afro in a very, very dangerous position here.
He definitely is. He needs to back away now with that one kill. He secured his team, or at least brought back that advantage into an equalization, and Sixer's done a good job at escaping to that A-bomb side as well. The name of the game for LDLC is keeping players alive for when that bomb goes down. Lambert on the secondary AWP has dealt with this B flank as well, and that leaves a three-man defense of the early A site. Sixer flicks with the AWP and lands the shot, and despite getting the opening kill in the round, ILLUMINAR have yet to find another 2-on-4 situation here with Roland on just 4 HP in this clutch.
Should just get hunted down here. Sixer takes him out with the Deagle. He's innocent in a near impossible 1v4. He gets dinked in the situation. Only good for one there as LDLC put themselves onto 16. Keep 3 alive as well. Maintain that double AWP setup. Doesn't really matter too much. Of course, this is 16k overtimes. They've got plenty of money in the bank. Snacks going for that AWP. The rest on the AK is on the ILLUMINAR side. See what they can do this round. Of course, in the last, as you say, they took that man advantage. They took the full ramp control within the first sort of 15 seconds of the round. They just couldn't convert anything off of it. Quite a uncommon thing to see. Lambert going for this mid pick, and he gets punished for it. Really, really audacious peek there from him. Body is there to trade it though.
That's so important the body is able to get that kill back. It feels like that's where LDLC fell apart a little bit in the last round. They tried to get aggressive early and lost that opening kill. Last round of regulation, that is body. Ooh, he's done well to get a second there. Traded out by Roland, but he nearly could have taken over this round individually. Still a 3 versus 3 situation, but he's eaten a lot of time and thinned this T side out quite substantially, his body. The issue for LDLC is that the B bomb site is completely open. Haji in mid needs to find this kill, and he's done it. Roland falls, and it's a 2-on-3, but it is going to be a retake into the B site. Haji has now arrived, but Mouse is creeping in, and Haji is not looking the right way for the kill. He's now been found as the AWP from Sixer makes its way in, but won't be able to exploit the gap. It's a second too late. Perhaps maybe someone will get aggressive. Snacks swings across, but the shot's missed from Sixer. Mouse and Snacks now holding on.
This caliber really a shot you should be hitting. Now a 2 versus 2. ILLUMINAR really in the driving seat right now as Mouse finds himself 1 and Snacks finishes things off. A round that ILLUMINAR shouldn't have really been able to take, but they come out on top, bring things back to 16-16. Money's still not a problem for either of these sides. Of course, taking 1 apiece. Comes down to who pokes ahead, though, in this first half of overtime. Still the double AWP setup for the LDLC side. ILLUMINAR head over towards ramp early on. We've seen this round after round. They go for this ramp control. They go for this early peak. LDLC continue to contest it in this round. Afro actually getting really aggressive. Finds himself the first, spraying away. Oh, gets the dink as well onto Rallen. That nade might even finish him off. It does exactly that. Huge work from Afro.
That's what they were going for in the last round of regulation. That was the strategy they wanted to execute, but unfortunately ILLUMINAR were able to find the opening kills. And this is what I was alluding to during that first half. LDLC's CT side, they do a great job around this A ramp of finding the opening kills, as long as they don't get over aggressive. That's the issue. Sometimes they can overplay their hand, and it actually doesn't work out for them in those situations. This time, though, triple entry found by the CT side as Afro puts the Molotov down that might even kill Snacks. It takes him down to 6 HP. Mouse rotating around, looking for the damage onto Afro. He's eventually taken down, and Snacks on 6, trying to find the last round of the first half of the first overtime.
Well, he's not even able to get the bomb down. I was going to say he was going for the bomb plant, and Might be able to pull it off, but Body just charges right through. ODLC looking pretty strong in that first half of overtime. That was a really nice last round from them. And I mean, if we get to look at this play again, yes we do, from Afro. Somehow lands that dink through the smoke. Clinical headshot, hears it, throws in the nade to finish it off. Fantastic play from him. Now as we go into the second half of OT, ILLUMINAR, they've got a tall order on their hands to try and take at least 2 here to bring it to the second overtime. They'll need all 3 to close it out. They are on the CT side. If I remember correctly, it was the CT side that they somewhat struggled on in the first half. Going 8-7. See if they can make this work.
This time it's LDLC looking to push the ramp early, but they're actually fairly spread out, just waiting for CT aggression is the name of the game here from the French. Advanced smoke's supposed to buy room for Veggie, but Afro, oh, he nearly whiffs that spray, eventually does convert it, and this AWP is still hunting him down. He's backed into the right-hand corner, but that might be enough room for him to escape. He dodges the flames, and that's the opening kill, secured by the T side. Still 2 AWPs alive and kicking though for ILLUMINAR, and now LDLC want to attempt a mid-execution. Rawlin and Innocent actively holding this one, as the Molotov up front might stall LDLC still.
That was really well played from Afro early on. He knew that Veggie liked playing that angle in the first half. That was something that we saw a few times from him. That to just get up behind the sandbags, hold for it, and as soon as you spot the back of him, spray him through that wall. Really, really nice stuff. Snacks on this angle. Should be able to get himself one. Might get overwhelmed as they cross. Lands a very nice shot onto Afro, but he was, of course, the low HP player. The bait in this situation. A 4 versus 4 now, 30 seconds on the clock. LDLC walking up towards ramp, not expecting Snacks to be behind the sandbags though. They've got no Molotov to deal with him. Body does get the trading, gets a second as well. A beautiful headshot gives them a man advantage, but with 20 seconds to work with, they need to speed this one up. And as Lambert goes for the plant, Rallen is able to deny it, does get traded. And now Mao's a 2 versus 1 to clutch up here as he walks through the smoke, able to deny the bomb plant. He might just be able to do this as he lands the last shot. Ridiculous stuff from him.
Oh, Mouse, he clutches it out at the end. LDLC time their enemy. They tried to run away to the B bomb site even towards the end of that round and actually had to turn back, which ate some all-important time up at the end. But Snacks does the important job. He finds that first kill, but the second follow-up's the important one. And Hadji there was a little bit of time to work with. Obviously, listen, that is one of the most high-pressure situations you can be in CS, but a couple more seconds to work with, moving around the box, he would have been saved. Now LDLC looking quickly towards A. Lambert destroys Veggie early. Snacks' AWP is still here, though, and it's found the next kill in the round. Afro smoked off from going around the right side of the scaffolding, and it's Innocent who might consider re-aggressing through. Utility being deployed, and he's now being body blocked. Hadji anticipates that and secures the headshot. 2 AWPs still alive for ILLUMINAR, but Molotovs are falling into this A bomb site, and Rawlin is taking heavy amounts of damage. 4 on 3, but still the 2 AWPs hold.
Snacks, the ex-major champion, has not been missing an AWP shot this entire half, and he doesn't plan to anytime soon. Another fantastic shot onto Lambert. Oh my goodness, Snacks, what are you doing? You absolute monster. He's even got the bomb down, almost connects one through the smoke onto Hadji. A 2 versus 2 situation now for ILLUMINAR. Both players with the AWPs, and Snacks is forced back. Hadji might be able to retrieve the bomb in this situation, and Snacks, there we go. That's the miss that we were waiting for. Gives LDLC a lifeline to work with. They will be able to get this bomb plant unless Mouse can deny it through the box here. Oh, he's missed his shot as well. Not good stuff from him at all. 6 of the 1 to close it out with the 1 deke.
Well, that looked initially scary for ILLUMINAR, and then it looked terrifying for LDLC as Snacks just was not stopping in that A bomb site. It looked like he'd be able to go for even more kills, but he was just caught out at the end, and that was enough. That was all LDLC and Sixer needed to hold on to the round. They now need just the victory here to secure this first map of Vertigo and push us on to their pick of Inferno. Heavy utility to the A ramp this time as LDLC, they want to rush straight through it. Body's found the first kill, even Innocent can't secure it, eventually gets it back. Fleeing into the site, he's found by Sixer. Veggie now has an insane amount of work to do.
He really does. They're a man down. He's on 40 HP as well. LDLC in this situation should be able to come out on top, but ILLUMINAR are ready to deal with this one. All three players stacked up towards the A site. Up close and personal, a good crossfire as well, working between Mouse and Veggie right now. Plenty of time for LDLC to work with. They don't need to just aggress into this one blasé. They've got the utility to work with. And actually, just by waiting, not making any noise, they start to make ILLUMINAR second guess themselves as they rotate a player off. Now 2 players on this A site to hold this one up against 4. This is going to be very, very difficult. Mouse needs to connect these shots. No LDLC for now, just running down the clock. Waiting for some kind of aggression.
Exactly the case. LDLC waiting for someone like Veggie to push forward and try and clear the A site so they can safely rotate to B. But what they have done is put themselves under time pressure yet again with 30 seconds left on the clock. LDLC want to collapse into the A bomb site, and they're still going to have to do it now against 3 players. 20 seconds to go, and they're still not pushing forward. Bomb down, but Haji's done well to follow up. Afro with the next kill, and Roland now isolated and alone. 10 seconds on the clock, and they have the crossfire this time. In the smoke he stands, but all 3 looking to advance into him. He finds Haji first, peeks around right, but there's no one actively looking, and it's Afro from behind who looks to finish off the round. Roland still alive, eventually cleaned up, and LDLC right at the very end secure Vertigo 19-17.
A fantastic performance from LDLC. They were looking a little bit shaky at the start. They were then looking a little bit shaky at the start of the second half as well. But they pull it back with style and actually somehow make it work.
Indeed. I mean, what was it at one point? The 13-7, 12-7 scoreline? Something to that degree in ILLUMINAR's favor, but still, LDLC were able to come back into that map, and now they're heading on to their map pick for the opportunity to 2-0 these quarterfinals and earn their spot in the semis. We'll have that second map ready and waiting to go for you just after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best nickel fights I've been to.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the playoffs of this Week 4 Malta Vibes Cup, brought to you by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. It was indeed the upset on Vertigo as LDLC shocked us all and took ILLUMINAR's map pick 19-17 to secure the first map of this series. Now, they advance onto their own map pick for a chance to 2-0 for a spot in the semi-finals. Whoever arrives in the semi-finals from this series will be playing against the winner of Crazy Navi Jr. tomorrow, and then the next two series later in the day, Gambit Youngsters versus the Lyngby Vikings and Simon versus Arves to determine those semi-finalist teams. My name is Protalis, and guiding you through this second map with me is going to be M&J. How are you feeling ahead of this one?
I'm feeling pretty good about this one. LDLC, they've come out the traps hot today. They've clearly woken up on the right side of the bed. That game obviously did come very close, but it was a game that we weren't expecting them to win. So the fact that they took it as close as they did and actually came out on top means that coming into Inferno, it's their map pick. It's one of ILLUMINAR's weaker maps, and it's actually one of the stronger maps for the LDLC side. They're really the favourites coming into this one, and well, ILLUMINAR, they've really got their work cut out for them if they want to bring this one back, take it to a map 3. I mean, they're just going to be disappointed with the fact that they lost Vertigo, and I think that morale and that lack of morale might carry into this second map.
Indeed, we have the individual head-to-head on display here, and of course it's the two biggest names in the server, Body and Snacks, with the most kills on either side. Body edging it out in terms of those total kills, breaking the 30 bomb as well there on Vertigo. It was an impressive performance from him, all things considered. Not necessarily the flashiest of plays at certain points, but really towards the end of overtime, just rushing that A ramp, sprinting forward and getting those rifle kills. He was doing a great job.
He really, really was. He was just... There were several key players that really showed up in that Vertigo game in my mind. Snacks was really one of them on that ILLUMINAR side, especially when he had the AWP in hand. He was amazing with it. And we saw a lot of rounds where they actually really held out for Snacks to have an AWP, rounds that they did have the money to buy into, but they'd say, no, we're gonna make sure we save the money for Snacks to have an AWP, or we're going to drop an AWP over to him and sacrifice a player maybe down to an SMG so that he could have it. He was absolutely on fire, and I think he'll be disappointed that they couldn't quite close that one out. But players on that LDLC side, as you say, Afro, right towards the end there, had a couple of really big rounds return the tables. Body had a few incredible rounds as well over towards mid and B, where he was doing a lot of work on that CT side. And well, they just tipped it over the edge. And right at the end, like you were saying in the game before, they've previously had problems with closing out some of these maps, and that doesn't seem to be the case today. And as we go into Inferno, if they can continue that, then we might have a quick 2-0 series on our hands.
Indeed, we might. The knife round ready to get underway, ladies and gentlemen. Both sides obviously going to be fighting for that easier CT start. And while this is certainly not home territory for ILLUMINAR, perhaps they might be able to put up a strong fight here. In their series against the Lyngby Vikings on Inferno earlier on in the week, they did lose, but that was in overtime, 19-17. So they were clearly able to put up a fight in regulation time. And against an LDLC side that likes to regularly pick Inferno, but can be at times inconsistent on the map. Who knows? Maybe after a stern half-time talking to, ILLUMINAR might head into this one more fired up, and our partners over at LootBet certainly seem to think that's a possibility. Virtually 50-50 with the odds, but actually edging out ILLUMINAR as the favourites.
That surprises me a little, considering LDLC won ILLUMINAR's map pick going into their own map pick. The fact that ILLUMINAR are still the favourites coming into this one. Of course, they were the favourites coming into the whole series, but I'd have thought that would have changed now that LDLC have really shown that they're here to play. Early on, ILLUMINAR taking a little bit of aggression early on, taking Afro down to 66. The key thing here, though, 3 LDLC players stacked up towards top banana. And that's where ILLUMINAR are starting to walk up. They could go huge here. Body with these dualies. Sixer playing the bait. Lands the first shot onto Rallum. This unleashes Body right now as he's got these dual Berettas. Finds himself the first. Actually falls back instead of going for the second here. They've got a 2-man, in fact, only a 1-man advantage now as Lambert's fallen. They can just fall right back to this B site, play the numbers game right now. LDLC for now on top.
I don't remember the last time I saw dual Berettas in an official match. They've got 2 kills, 1 for each pistol in this round, but ILLUMINAR have access to the B bomb site. Sixer won't be able to get anything through the smoke, but his team has arrived to assist with this retake. Mao's up aggressive, and his teammate has no body armor, so really it's Mao who wants to peek on contact. He'll get 1 kill, but no more, as Innocent at range has found Afro. This is winnable, and he converts it with that P250. ILLUMINAR fight from behind, and Innocent with no body armor lands 2 quick headshots to win them the T-side pistol.
ILLUMINAR showing they're really here to play. Take that first pistol round. That's going to mean that they can buy up around this. Look at that last headshot. Really nice stuff from Innocent there. We go into round number 2 now. LDLC invest into it. Not fully. Every single player still staying around the $500 mark except Hadji. They have got this scout to work with as he's looking to connect this shot onto Innocent. They're looking like they entertained the idea of some aggression there, but didn't go for it. Still a 5 versus 5 for now. ILLUMINAR running around the map, trying to take some control. Veggie in the apartments. No one there to contest him, though.
LDLC keeping it nice and passive for the moment. They'd like to not throw away the investment they brought into this round immediately, and with only 2 of their players with body armor in hand, they would have rather brought utility into this round rather than armor. You can sort of justify the argument if you expect your kills to be earned by those opening headshots rather than the drawn-out spam battles. Then there's an argument to suggest you may not need armor in favor of that utility. But they do have to land those opening shots in order for that strategy to be a successful one. ILLUMINAR have spent a lot of time pressuring B Banana, but they are actually going to collapse into this A bomb site. Afro aggressive falls first, but the 2 armored Deagles alive alongside this scout, and Hadji's already found the first.
He has indeed. Sixer right now spamming away with this Deagle. Does a lot of damage as well. Brings things into a 4-on-4, slightly tilting over towards the favor of LDLC. The issue is now is that ILLUMINAR are regrouping, heading over to B. Body's got some insane shots that he needs to hit here. Spots out the first, does the damage, can't quite convert the kill for now, but he's still alive and he still continues to spam away. Does take Snacks down to 32. This is an absolutely doable retake for his teammates, but he really needed to find a kill there.
Regrettable for LDLC, and they may just back out of things with the Molotov and smoke pushed down. They know time is their enemy. Their chances of getting into the B-bomb site are certainly low. They are going to back away by the looks of things. Sixer with head armor would be loving to save that forward, but it's going to be the eco regardless from LDLC in the upcoming round. And ILLUMINAR, they get through the second. They nearly walk into that A stack, but as soon as they see the second aggressing apartments player, they determine that this could be a heavy A investment, rotate to B. And as you mentioned, Body just unfortunately couldn't find the headshots he was looking for. 2 on the board now as we look into the LDLC eco, expecting this to be 3 for ILLUMINAR. And if they can defeat the first full buy of the half, I think that's the really significant factor. On the T side of Inferno, the longer you can keep that CT money under wraps, the better.
Yeah, on a map like Inferno, there is that double AWP potential for that CT side. If they do get too much money built up, they can start to abuse that, especially a team like LDLC when you've got a couple of confident AWPers. Pull one out on Hadji, one onto Sixer. They could really make a double AWP setup work on a map like Inferno. Right now, though, ILLUMINAR using a lot of early utility, trying to bait out these early fights. Afro swings out. Does a little bit of damage. Can't do any more than that, though. The Deagle boost going to come in on mid. Shouldn't spot out anything, but well, you always love to see little plays like this. But now ILLUMINAR, 40 seconds run down on the clock, and they haven't found themselves anything. They haven't really gained a whole lot of control either.
Not just yet, they haven't, but eventually the SMGs will make their way onto this B site. Smoke's down. It looks as though Body's going to be unable to contest, although sat in that smoke, he definitely wants to. Flash is going to allow him through, and it's eaten up some time for ILLUMINAR, but they still have 50 seconds to get onto this bomb site. There's still a lot of utility to work with as well. Body now falling as Snacks keeps advancing with that MAC-10, but Afro's nearly missed his opportunity. He could still find Veggie, but now the AK finishes the job, and Hadji on the scout looks to back away yet further. 4-on-3 retake. LDLC, the objective here, surely just economic damage and perhaps safe rifles.
Well, Rallen in the back lines really puts a spanner in the works here as he's coming up from behind. Spots one, spots Lambert as well. The trigger discipline comes into play here, finds himself the first, spraying away at the second, finds Sixer as well. And Hadji last alive behind these sandbags. No way he gets out alive here as Innocent sprays him down. And ILLUMINAR take the third round, keep 4 players alive, and they've built up somewhat of a bank right now. They've got a couple of players sitting on 7k. So much money behind them as we go into the LDLC buy round, and if ILLUMINAR can take this one, they'll be in a really good position.
They certainly will. The vast majority of the kills for the Polish side coming as a result of their SMGs rather, which of course nets them a healthy amount of bonus cash and strengthens their buy yet further. They want to take the bonus forward into this round, but Sixer's already put down Veggie in second mid. Lightning fast AWPing as he looks perhaps even to rotate away. He'll stick towards the A site, and they've actually called in a 4th player early to deal with a potential rush. And this is a agreeable gamble from LDLC. If you have one player holding aggressively in Banana, at least for the early information, he can make his way back into the B site and drop smokes and Molotovs to buy himself time, and your rotator can come back off in the early instances. So stacking A early is not always the wrong call, but it is when you lose body to Rawlin like that.
Things back into a 4 versus 4. ILLUMINAR a minute on the clock. They start to go top Banana for them to take that control, but they're actually heading back over towards A. And this is certainly the wrong call right now, as LDLC have got 3 of their 4 players on the site. Not anymore though. Lambert prematurely starts to rotate over towards B, and it gives ILLUMINAR a lifeline to work with as they start walking up towards A. Sixer connects the first shot though, no trade potential on it. As Rallen in the apartments, if he pushes out here, Hadji will surely find this kill. 30 seconds now, they need to commit. The smokes have gone up. Hadji, the key player here, finds himself the first. A 4 versus 2 now. The rotations are coming in. And Sixer not missing a shot with that AWP. They don't even need the rotations. They deal with the A push very, very well. And LDLC put their first round on the board, deny ILLUMINAR the buy round.
Excellent work from the French CT side to win it out with 4 players alive, but they're not out of the woods just yet. Their bank is still under pressure, and there are more AKs to come out for ILLUMINAR because it was the bonus in that last round. Great play on the A bomb site from the French players. You can see what ILLUMINAR were trying for. They were sort of almost anticipating losing that early kill to Sixer, and then they really needed Rawlin to be able to get the refrag on Sixer's way back into the site. Now, unfortunately, when he doesn't land that, there's a much more powerful crossfire setup in that A-bomb site then, and ILLUMINAR have greater levels of difficulty dealing with that one in the last particular round. But in this, they have the utility advantage, and they still have more AKs than they did in the last. Sixer, how on earth has he missed that one? Both times, unfortunately, for him, whiffing that shot and not finding an early kill.
Well, Body's early positioning here is absolutely fantastic. Really brilliant stuff from him there early on to work his way up Banana, get himself into that corner. Almost impossible as a T to check that angle. Rallen, he does spot out a player over towards Long. Wants to find Hadji, but not going to happen. Hadji comes out on top. 2-man advantage now for LDLC, and ILLUMINAR, well, they're just being picked off like flies. Someone here needs to make a big play. Or they need to just make some kind of save call. It's not looking like that's going to happen. They are going to start working over towards A. 3 versus 3 on the A bomb site. They could come out on top here if they land their shots. Sixer with this AWP on the bomb site. Now looking the right way, as all 3 ILLUMINAR players start to aggress over towards short and apartments.
Crossfire once again in the A site with a rotator on the way. It's Maus to fall next as ILLUMINAR still hunt for kills, but they fail to find any. Snacks picked up by Sixer at the end, and it's 4 alive in the last and 5 alive in this one for LDLC. They cleanly dispatch back-to-back A-bomb site hits from ILLUMINAR and finally deal the economic blow to that T side. They're going to have to drop down onto pistols now. In this upcoming round, and LDLC have the opportunity to strengthen their money immensely and work back from that early deficit as a result of losing the pistol round. The tight scoreline all but anticipated at this point, but the Pac-10s and the Tech-9s might be looking for a fast round here.
Well, they might do. That's exactly what they're doing. They charge up second mid. They avoid all of the utility that was thrown in the middle of the map. And now they work their way over towards the A bomb site. They're actually wrapping around to B, though, and that's not the right call because the B rotations are coming in. Both rifles are here to shut this one down. They do a lot of damage. Body with 2 kills, but they can't quite shut that one down. That means that ILLUMINAR are actually able to retrieve 2 M4s right now. Hadji might be able to take out Snacks in this scenario. Guesses correctly. Doesn't walk straight into his crosshair. Still a 3 versus 3. And ILLUMINAR are kind of stuck right now. Trying to decide which way to go. Waiting for some kind of rotation. And Hadji, the timing works out perfectly. Takes out Snacks. 6 are on this A bomb site. Needs to hold this one up. Hadji coming in to support him now, though. Mouse comes out from long. Might be able to get the timing. Not going to happen for now, though. Hadji falls back to Pit. In fact, the timing does work out in his favor. Gets him down to 17. The man advantage still lying with LDLC, though. 30 seconds on the clock. They need to make their move. ILLUMINAR start to aggress now.
Sixer, that is a huge whiff. Maus has found him, and Rawlins picked up Hadji in the site now. Both A-site players have fallen away, and Lambert, he now has to try and come back and recover this round. That was a dire passage of play towards the end there, all predicated off of one missed shot. And really, Hadji had all the info. I'm not sure why Lambert didn't rotate over earlier, because as soon as you can see Snacks in that position in the A apartments, they know it's an A hit. Why on earth would they rush all the way into B CT spawn and then leave a player in the A apartments? It doesn't make much sense. That's why Hadji rotates straight into A to defend again. But I'm just perplexed as to why they leave the B commitment. It could at least have been holding slightly more actively towards Coffins for a faster rotation. But either way, those are some late round mistakes there from LDLC.
It really is. That's a round that they shouldn't be losing, and by letting it slip, it means that ILLUMINAR allowed to extend their lead. Deny LDLC from leveling it up. They have got the money to buy back into this one, though. And the early aggression I really thought would be punished. 2 LDLC players peeking top mid while flashed. At that point, you're pretty much signing your death warrant, but somehow they come out on top. Rallen finds himself 2, though. Now 4 versus 2 as they get onto this B bomb site. Sixer goes for an audacious shot through the smoke. It gives away his position. He gets spammed away. And I think he just needs to fall back here. Try and save. Lambert's already accepted his fate, going for the save call. I'm not really sure what Six is still doing here. There's no CT smoke. He can't get away. Snacks does capitalize on it. And now Lambert just left to save. ILLUMINAR already on the hunt, though. Rallen sniffing him out very, very close.
Well, that one mistake in the last round put their economy in a slightly weak position, and now ILLUMINAR have dealt a crippling blow to it. Lambert just desperate to save his M4 forward, as it's undoubtedly the LDLC eco, and what was virtually guaranteed to be the 3-all scoreline was just misplayed by the French side, and now ILLUMINAR are looking to guarantee themselves the 6-2 opener on the T side of Inferno. We can talk about our partners over at Hellcase, the biggest and most well-known case opening website with almost 100 cases, updated case battle upgrader, dozens of monthly giveaways, and loads more unique features. It's virtually the hard eco coming out for LDLC as ILLUMINAR hunt down their 6th, and the French now need to dig deep because, I mean, a 9-6 half on the CT side is normally the minimum scoreline for a successful half on Inferno.
It really is, and Hadji getting tagged down early on with that grenade. They've saved some money in the bank to work with in the next. This M4 from Lambert wants to try and do something in this round. He's got a very nice angle with this boost. Rallen might not be expecting to walk into 2 players if he does go through this doorway. Right now, just holding for it, though. Really, really slow stuff from ILLUMINAR. Yet to actually push up Banana. They're just throwing their utility. Instead, they are going to head over towards A. And as the nades come in, that's going to initiate the fallback for LDLC. Minute on the clock. Afro gets taken down by Mouse. And now, ILLUMINAR, they are going to head over towards the B-bomb site. The corner's been Molotov'd. Smoke goes over onto Coffins and Body. Well, a very difficult situation for him to be in right now. The rotation has been called. It's Lambert with the M4 to try and help out. ILLUMINAR look like they're going to commit to this one, but in fact they're not. The kill comes in from Veggie over towards A, and that's the rotation coming in.
Nobody re-peeking on the A bomb site indicates to Veggie that there aren't many players committed to defending, and with Lambert falling on that B rotation, he's all but confirmed his theory. That's the only rifle for the CT side gone, and Haji falling in the A bomb site all but confirms this round for ILLUMINAR. It takes them a while to get it done, but the bomb does eventually go down, and Body now waits in mid to deal the late round damage. Just the deagle in hand. It looks like he is going to be re-peaked by Innocent Zort, but he can't secure the second kill. 6-2 up are the Polish side on their opponent's map pick now, and it's them who call a timeout as their opponents look towards the fall by here in round 9.
Interesting to see ILLUMINAR calling a timeout this early on. Somewhat breaks their momentum, and of course, it's very early in the game for a timeout, but you've got plenty to work with, so why not use them? LDLC, this is a really important round for them. If they lose this one, ILLUMINAR can continue to put a couple more down, and then they've got a gap between them and half-time where they can start to fill it out further and end up having maybe a 10-5 half, maybe a 9-6 in their favor, and on a CT side of Inferno, that's a really, really poor half for LDLC. So this is really has to be a turning point for them right now, where they win this buy round, they string together a few off of it, they level things up, and then, well, they try and pull ahead. They seem to be able to do it over on Vertigo. Now they're on their own territory. It's Inferno, something that ILLUMINAR aren't too comfortable with. This is the time they need to be pulling it out of the bag.
It certainly is. I mean, ILLUMINAR, they're a side that when they get going, when that momentum starts building, they're incredibly difficult to stop. They showed us that in last week's Cup, where they ended up winning the whole thing. And LDLC have just looked in real trouble ever since that eco round loss. When the guns came out, I thought they were going to be able to put up a good fight on their CT side. Coming forward from Vertigo, yes, they lost the first 3 rounds, but that's to be expected when you lose the pistol. You still have that momentum on your side. And when they won those 2 gun rounds, I thought, brilliant, here we go. This is the strong French CT side we're looking for. And they're going to build themselves up a great round advantage. But they just fall twice in a row. And that is enough to hamper their economy. The guns are back out now, but this is a must-win round. You're absolutely right. From the LDLC perspective, otherwise, this is just ILLUMINAR's half to play with.
Yes, indeed. And they're absolutely playing like it. It's all to play for right now. Of course, this is effectively a $2,500 game. Whoever wins this one goes into the semi-finals. The prize money goes right down to the 3rd, 4th bracket. So it really is all to play for right now. If ILLUMINAR lose this map, though, they will be out of this week's tournament. No DLC. On their buy round, no AWP available, just down to the M4s. Using a lot of their utility early on as well. The flash is going to go over Banana. That might initiate the peak from Body. This would be awesome to see. There's 2 players waiting. And if the flash works out, this could be very, very good. It's looking like they're not going to throw it until the contact comes in, though. And if that's the case, it would just be a scapegoat for Body right now. The flash goes over, but it doesn't affect Mouse. It only gets the other 2, and he can't do anything with it. Afro does trade out the frag, though. Brings it back into a 4-on-4. Snacks on 10 HP. And LDLC still in control here as Rallen gets taken down low as well. The nade might just finish him off. It's going to do exactly that. Man advantage now. Make that a 2-man advantage. And now a 3 for LDLC. Innocent last alive in a 1 versus 4. No real chance of him pulling this one off, especially with that smoke up. The bomb's down behind enemy lines. He's got a little gap to work with, but yeah, LDLC not giving him anything here.
LDLC distract ILLUMINAR in banana and then aggress over on A to look to secure this round. Innocent has found 1 kill necessary for this 1v4, but with 20 seconds, how winnable is this? The flanking player, he anticipates and repositions, but Lambert up close is able to clean him up. LDLC, no signs of relief just yet, as that ILLUMINAR bank is so healthy. They'll be bringing buys forward at least into the next round. LDLC with huge amounts of work remaining to do on this CT side if they want to call it a success, but they still have the guns for now. They still have a good chance at contesting these.
They really do. They've built up some money. Sixer now with the AWP. They come into this one. Lambert is down to a FAMAS, but ILLUMINAR, they've won so many rounds this half. Now, as you say, they can buy into this one. They'll actually be able to buy into one more after this as well if ODLC take this one. So they've certainly got the cash in the bank to try and deny ODLC from leveling things up. Afro, the support man again. A flash in hand for Body. Ready and waiting to peek this angle. Snacks with this AWP. If this flash works out, this could be huge, but the Molotov forces him right back. The flash comes in a little too early. Body, so far deemed redundant. A 5v5 flash comes over, and again, it only flashes one of them. Innocent's the one to come out on top. Afro now has to hold up this B site by himself whilst the rotations come in.
That play being read perhaps by ILLUMINAR in this round. Afro would have been punished indeed for that peak had he moved out just a pixel further. Snacks his AWP. Ever so hungry atop banana, and with time limited, ILLUMINAR are going to push into this B site. Sixer still here with the AWP, but there's so little CT utility left remaining. Sixer is so lucky to be alive at the moment. Snacks whipping the opening shot, but so does Sixer. And now Afro deep in the site, can't hit anything with his AK. LDLC might have won one gun round, but ILLUMINAR fire straight back with the next. 2-on-5 retake in the B-bomb site. Lambert and Haji want absolutely nothing to do with that. They're just going to save deep, and ILLUMINAR 1 round away from a guaranteed advantage at the end of the half.
Really out of character from Snacks there to miss a shot like that. A very, very routine shot that he should be hitting almost every time. Doesn't matter though, his teammates come in and make up for it. Mouse and Innocent find both the frags on the site. And now it's Lambert and Hadji for ODLC saving on this A site. ILLUMINAR somewhat already on the hunt though. Rallen up close. He seems to be the expendable player that is always sent out on the hunt in these situations. Once he gets quite close, I think both of these rifles will be retained and taken into the next round. ILLUMINAR put themselves onto 7, maintain this 4-round gap. And ODLC, they have a decision to make. They've got 2 rifles right now. They've got a little bit of money to buy around them. But do they go for this investment and potentially allow ILLUMINAR to get to 9? Or do they go for somewhat of an eco here and contest this 8-7 half?
That's what they'll be discussing during this timeout. It's definitely a really tough call. Because where do the AWPs fit into the buy? Afro could pick one up, but he'd be guaranteed on glass cannon then, regardless of what weapon he had available in the round. And Sixer has not been looking quite so consistent here on Inferno. It does have to be said. He's missed a couple of shots. And it looks like there is an AWP going to be coming out. I don't know whether they drop it over to Sixer or not. Afro's only got 3 kills so far in the map, but he's absent body armor, and he has the right spawn to get a quick banana kill. So it is the full investment coming out from LDLC, and it could absolutely be the 9-3 scoreline converted if ILLUMINAR can win this gun round.
A really risky play from LDLC to go for this buy. They put 3 players over towards B early. Lambert's just there to throw the nade though as he falls right back afterwards. ILLUMINAR just outside this A-bomb site in the middle area, just trying to do some damage through these smokes. For now they're locked out. As the doors start to open, they are going to aggress further. The flashes go up into brackets. Actually, both flashes go either side. That's going to allow them to take the control here. If this boost works out, Body would be able to go huge, but can he spot out the heads? Can't see anything for now. Gives his position away, they have to fall off of it. In the meantime, Six has found one. Lambert does a lot of damage with that MP9. Can't convert the kills though. Things level out. 4 versus 3. Make that a 3v3 as Snacks finds Body. Hadji needs to go huge on this angle. Can't connect the shot. And as his teammate falls, he needs to find it. Gets it, but can't find the second. And this has all fallen apart for LDLC.
It was looking very dodgy for a moment there for ILLUMINAR, especially when Veggie died in Mouse's Molotov, but eventually the Polish side recovers. Absent armor, Afro's still trying to commit to this round. He knows his team are going to have nothing to work with in the next. But there's nothing he can do about it. That much he knows also. He runs away with the sniper rifle, guaranteeing ILLUMINAR 8 and giving them a very good chance at securing the 9-3 opening scoreline here on Inferno. It looks as though LDLC may have been slightly overconfident heading into this map, as they are really on the receiving end of a beating at the moment.
They are, and it's quite bizarre to see. I think it might be a case of ILLUMINAR actually just not being massively warmed up in that first game. Now that may not be the case, just for the sheer fact that actually in that first map they did really well at the start. They were looking really strong and ODLC pulled it back, but maybe they just weren't mentally ready to go into that first map. They let it slip away. Now they come into Inferno, they've got their heads in gear, they say, we're not losing this one, we've won this last week, we are not going out in the quarterfinals. They've really turned up to this Inferno map, completely just disregarding the fact that it's their opponent's map pick. Right now, Sixer, well, trying to get aggressive, gets completely punished for it. And Afro on this boost with the AWP. He has brought himself some Kevlar now, but as he gets flashed off, he has to fall away. He's actually going for an audacious repeat. Gets the angle, might be able to take out Snacks if he goes for another peek here. It's not going to happen though, the rifles push up. Afro does connect the shot onto Innocent though. Spams through the wall, Snacks can't convert the trade. But Veggie doing all the work on the A bomb site, actually single-handedly opened it up. And I think this is going to be the save call for Afro early on.
Much more important to save it now than it was before, because this AWP can actually be used with body armor in the next round. You can put it in the hands of Sixer, your primary sniper, and try and work around the full guns, but this is the 9th. Converted from ILLUMINAR, and I'm looking back over the veto actually, because obviously not expecting such a heavy beating, and I was wondering if there was any more room to maneuver. But realistically, LDLC's only 2 choices here were to go to Inferno or Nuke. ILLUMINAR banned out Dust 2, which is LDLC's best map, and ILLUMINAR's strongest map is Train, which is already the decider in this series. So LDLC had the choice. Do we pick ILLUMINAR's strongest map of Train? Do we pick Nuke? Or would we pick a slightly stronger map for ourselves in Inferno, and a map that ILLUMINAR have barely played, according to HLTV, in the past 3 months? They must have assumed that this was a weak spot for ILLUMINAR, as perhaps we all did, but maybe teams not taking ILLUMINAR to Inferno out of respect, rather than taking it away from them out of punishment. LDLC bring the double AWPs out now, but ILLUMINAR, I mean, with this round, it could be a seriously nasty scoreline at the end of the first half.
It really could. A few more rounds to play with. ILLUMINAR potential to extend their lead by 3 if they play their cards right. By the sounds of things, LDLC just really didn't win that map pick and ban phase. Maybe they need to extend their map pool a little further, but for now they need to focus on this round because ILLUMINAR are getting aggressive very, very early on. Body has converted that first kill spread through the smoke. Does a little bit of damage as well. Miles and Rallo already low HP. ODLC. Oh, they're looking quite strong in this round. This was quite ambitious for ILLUMINAR. The things they've been doing have been working out. These slow plays where they take control have worked out really, really well for them. So why they went for a fast B play does somewhat confuse me. But they're not out of it yet. They're just a man down. And with Body on 16, it's very easily tradable.
Perhaps seeing the psychology of the ILLUMINAR players there. You're 9-3 up on the T side of your opponent's map pick. You're on an incredibly healthy streak of rounds, so perhaps they feel like turning up the pace and just finishing this half early on. They've suffered the early kill against them and the follow-up from Afro as well, who on the secondary AWP here on Inferno has been doing a lot of work. Innocent finds body, and Mouse has killed his teammate. Lambert only now has 2 players to find in order to clean the rest of that one up, and LDLC can still recover minutely. They can still make this a 9-6 in the best case, but they would still need to bypass 2 more Illuminar full gun rounds, and that's looked like a difficult task throughout this map for them so far.
It really has. Just looking back at that last round, it was a really nice initiative play from Lambert there to push through the smoke and pick up the pieces. Of course, Mouse did find a couple of kills onto the site, kept it competitive. But Lambert completely shut that one out. ODLC do put themselves onto 4. Potential for them to contest this one as Hachi finds another one early. Damage going both ways as well. Rallen getting Sixer down to 1 HP, but gets tagged through the wall down to 30 himself. So the man advantage retained for LDLC. And the control as well. Illuminar very, very close to this A bomb site. As soon as that utility comes in, they will go for the execute. The smoke on apartments, though, deems Rallen completely redundant, and Sixer on this angle needs to convert this shot. The Molotov's going to force him right back. Of course, he's 1 HP. He can't afford to take a single point of damage right now. Snacks. Well, he's got the angle, but Lambert, if he gets the timing right, he can swing and find this frag. Instead, lets his teammate fall. Now he swings out, gets the trades, though, and Body finds himself one of his own. A complete shutdown for LDLC as Rallen. There's nothing left he can do in this round.
Waking up slightly towards the end of the first half are LDLC, getting 5 on the board at bare minimum, and now with a decent chance of making it the 9-6 at the end. That's at least the partial recovery, but they'd need the pistol and following 2 rounds at bare minimum just to convert the tied scoreline in that second half. So still an uphill battle for the French to work with. Rallen and Afro narrowly missing each other in terms of the timing there in second mid, but this round was always going to go the way of LDLC, and they've secured that now in their favor. 1 more round remaining in the half. LDLC will be desperate for it, but I have a feeling this map will be more decided by the second pistol than it will this upcoming round, as that's really where you're going to see the momentum shift occur.
I think you may be right. ODOC again, though, especially if they can take this last round, much like in the first map, they've done well to recover from an early round deficit and actually pull it back into a decent half. That won't be the case if it goes 10-5, but if they can recover this as a 9-6, especially if they win the pistol round, it certainly won't be the worst half in the world, all things considered. Sixer holding this angle on mid, not going to swing out wider. If he had done, he might have found himself something. Instead, though, they get the information. Body. So much info being gained right now as he can hear all these sound cues. The double spray down comes through. Can't quite convert the third, but he's already done his job. Giving his team the man advantage. Rotation comes in from Sixer now as well, so it will be Lambert and Sixer to hold up this B site as Illuminar continue to aggress. Committing to this one. Jump straight through the smoke, has been spotted. Sixer will come out on top with that one, trying to connect the second as well as you saw the barrel of Innocent. 4 versus 2 now, though. The Molotov comes in, floods out Lambert, but Sixer comes out on top. Snacks last alive, does get across to Paul, but nothing he can do here as Lambert's behind to close out the half. 9-6, LDLC. As I say, they do well to recover those final 3 and make sure that Illuminar don't take some stupid half like 12-3, even potentially... No, actually, 12-3 would have been the worst they could have had, but an 11-4 or a 12-3, something like that. Instead, they keep this one somewhat competitive. And if they can take this pistol round, they'll definitely be back in this game.
Body starts strong, Sixer follows up, and Lambert finishes it off to end the half. Still favouring Illuminar 9-6, of course, and our partners over at LootBet definitely reflecting that in the odds. Illuminar now the heavy favourites, heading on to what you anticipate to be the easier side of Inferno. With a pistol win, they'd have an opportunity to earn themselves a 12-6 scoreline, but they fell back from a similar advantage in the last map as well. LDLC fighting from behind and desperate for this pistol to tie things up.
Wow, they're fantastic odds on LDLC. They're certainly not out of this one yet. Only trailing by 3. They're a map ahead. Definitely potential for them to pull this one off, especially if they win this pistol round. Afro spots out the player on the corner early on. That's innocent. He's got a nade in hand. No Kevlar to work with. He is going to fall right back. No rotation called either. So actually, if LDLC commit to B right now, they could have a free site to work with, but instead they're taking the gunfights on mid and they're winning them despite the fact that there's a stack. Hadji goes absolutely huge, finds himself 3 kills, does run out of ammo, and Rallen is able to trade the frag, but Lambert swings out and finds it back. Now a 3 versus 1. LDLC should be able to take this one with ease. The nade almost takes out Lambert, doesn't quite finish him off though. An innocent, lost alive, no Kevlar to work with, and 3 to find. Especially with Afro coming up from behind him. Really no chance of him clutching this one up.
I wonder what Afro was thinking then when he walked into the B bomb site. He just walks in, realizes it's free, but obviously his team are committing to A. What on earth just went on there? Hadji is a beast in the pistol round. That just has to be said. They walked straight into a stacked up A bomb site with the disadvantage on Glocks versus USPs, and still Hadji decides he wants to wander out and just kill absolutely everybody. You can see him, I don't know what he's doing there towards the end. He's obviously run out of ammo, but just sitting in the corner, perhaps he thinks the bullets are coming from in front of him, not behind. Either way, LDLC now with the chance to tie up the scoreline, but this force from ILLUMINAR could still devastate their chances.
LDLC, they have to win this round. They have to pull back, close this gap. If they allow ILLUMINAR to bounce back, let this swing the other way, they'll be down to no money. ILLUMINAR will be able to get themselves onto 11, take a 4-round gap, and LDLC's chances then become slim. The flashes come in though, and they do head over towards this B site. Veggie does absolutely huge damage there to find 2. He gets swarmed, but somehow maintains composure. Lands the 2 headshots needed. The man advantage now for ILLUMINAR as the retake coming in. Almost the shots connecting for Innocent through the smoke. The issue is, though, is they're still down to the pistols. The guns that were dropped are unretrievable. They come in for this retake. LDLC still in an advantageous position here.
Afro's the critical player. He's going to get all of the information. 6 has fallen first. Afro still alive back in the site. Spots out the first, coming through the smoke. Holds left click for the second, and that leaves Rawlin 1 versus 3. Afro gets it done with the ace against ILLUMINAR's force in that round. 5 kills, allowing LDLC to put their 8th on the board. And now you expect the tight scoreline following this ILLUMINAR eco. It's great play from Veggie to get that double with the 5-7, but Afro really comes in clutch here and holds true for LDLC.
Afro just seems to work so well under pressure. He was the one that stepped up towards the end of the first map to take his team over the top. Comes out when needed, and that's what he's done in that last round. They had to take it. And he says, all right then, I'll get an ace. Pulls it off. ILLUMINAR now just down to these pistols. I certainly wouldn't count them out, as they have got a couple of guys with the Deagles right now, but with no Kevlar, this should be easy pickings for LDLC. An opportunity for these MAC-10s to rack up some cash as well. They haven't got a huge amount of money in the bank, only keeping 2 alive last round, but Rallen finds himself the first, and actually Lambert can trade it, but it goes straight back the other way as Mouse takes him out. Maintaining the man advantage now, ILLUMINAR. You're only allowed to retrieve a MAC-10 though.
Mouse is going to go hunting with it, and Snaps up aggressively. Now has been found by Sixer, but Mouse could catch Hadji off guard. Excellent readjustment from the rifle, and that's going to cause LDLC to wrap back into this A-bomb site. Nade could find a kill, but Hadji, the miracle, allows him to remain alive. This USP spam finding a decent amount of damage onto Afro as well. This retake is certainly possible from the pistols.
3 players low for LDLC right now, but well, they're faced up against the lower investment from the ILLUMINAR side, just the P250 and the USP. Veggie does even more damage. Afro and Hadji sitting both on single digits right now. This is so doable for Innocent, but with no kit, he's wasting a lot of time, and he is actually falling off of this one. I think he's going for exit frags right now, wants to try and save an AK, but well, not the smartest move. Hadji comes in from the back, takes him out. Now LDLC, somehow, despite the fact that they took a humongous amount of damage, they actually keep 3 players alive. All of those 3 players as well are the ones with the AK, so they only lose 2 MAC-10s in that one, meaning they don't have to reinvest a whole lot. They level things out, 9-9. ILLUMINAR on the buy round now. 4 M4s and an AWP to work with, and they need to win this one, otherwise LDLC will be able to pull ahead.
Excellent start from Snacks, though. Shutting down Hadji, an important player of this half so far. But uh-oh, this aggression up Banana might get caught out. Veggie does well to find the second kill, but he's under pressure. Drops the flash. He's been found now. The B-bomb site completely open. Smokes down. Flashes to boot. This is the plant confirmed for LDLC, but Afro and Lambert are incredibly low. That's the silver lining. And there are 2 HEs available for ILLUMINAR.
Where's this HE going to be placed for now? Guess is wrong. Afro through this smoke might be able to find this kill. Oh my goodness, Snacks lands a detrimental AWP shot. Now the man advantage as they come in for this retake. The nades do even more damage, but as Lambert still alive, not for much longer. ILLUMINAR, they do manage to pull it off. The defuse comes in. They salvage an AK as well. A very, very good retake, all things considered, from them. They put their 10th round on the board. LDLC have got the money to bounce back. Buy back into this one, try and contest the level up again. But look at this initial shot from Snacks. Fantastic flick while flashed. And then a no-scope as well. I really thought Afro would have come out on top there in that situation, but Snacks, he's just too good.
I think all of LDLC in that retake get a little bit too creative. I think all 3 players tried to push through smoke, and all 3 of them were killed in their attempts. This time they avoid the majority of the damage in Banana from those early nades, and Snacks has to back away from top mid as he's aware there could be a crossfire set up against him at some point, and he'd rather not lose the AWP early on. ILLUMINAR finally break LDLC's streak, but they don't break the bank. Limited utility, but not absent in this round, as 3 players from ILLUMINAR must still defend the A-bomb site. Body has no idea Snacks is playing aggressively around this smoke, and he's taken down early. 4 left alive as ILLUMINAR are rotating Innocent in to defend the A site as well.
The man advantage gained again by ILLUMINAR. They seem to do really well. Once they have that early man advantage, they maintain the control. They seem to do really, really well. Where they start to fall apart is when LDLC get a little bit of aggression going up Banana, maybe take a first pick. They just struggle to react off of it. This round, though, comfortably looking theirs for the taking. Veggie on the B site. He's got a good angle as his teammates rotated over as well. It's him and Innocent with a nice crossfire to hold it up. It's looking like LDLC are actually going to regroup and go for this B bomb site, but Hadji, I thought he was all done for there. Somehow comes out on top and levels things out in a 4-on-4.
Well, now LDLC, they need to hunt into B. Afro's found a kill, but Veggie's still here, and that could be enough. 10 seconds left. LDLC have to sprint into A, and Hadji dropping that smoke might just buy himself a little bit of space to work with, but it's still a 2-on-3 retake against his side's favor. The bomb does go down in time on the A site, and Hadji's found the first kill onto Mao. Snacks has the info, and he peeks the right angle, but he misses the vital shot. 6 are aggressive in mid, and that's it all done at the end. LDLC, 1 second in that round, and they could have missed out on the plant. They get it done on A at the very last moment and tie it up again.
Running down the clock like that can always be very, very dangerous. But in this instance, it works out perfectly because with only 10 seconds left, ILLUMINAR assume that LDLC have to commit to this B-bomb site. They rotate all of their resources over, and it gives a huge gap for LDLC to work with. The timeout now called. Not too surprising. Gives them a little bit of time to cool off of that one. Discuss what they're going to do in this next round because, well, that was just a crazy on-the-fly call that worked out for them. That was not planned at all. I think they need to take control of these rounds a little bit more. They can't rely on those late round scenarios like that go in their favor. For now, though, they should be able to take this one as ILLUMINAR are on somewhat of an eco. And for the first time in well, potentially this entire game. They might be able to pull ahead here.
That would be brilliant news for them, should they be able to accomplish it. I think they were ahead. I know it's difficult to remember. Oh no, they weren't. I thought they won the pistol round at the start, but no, that was Illuminar. LDLC struggled to get the tied scoreline there. Snacks has found body back at least, and Mao's nearly looking dangerous, but Snacks is the one who's found a second kill. That AK and body armor, absolutely lethal. Innocent has found Lambert as well. Snacks has to be careful on the A-bomb site. Okay, looking very dangerous briefly, but as soon as Snacks falls there, just getting the timing a little bit wrong. That's enough for LDLC to get the bomb plant. This was more expensive for the T's than it should have been. And Vegi's 5-7. Look, it can do damage for sure on the site. Oh, at long range. Nearly landed some dinks as well. But LDLC, they do put 11 on the board eventually. Their economy heavily checked, though.
Certainly too close for comfort, especially against a buy as limited as it was. Snacks in that scenario could have gone huge. He did a lot of work to find those 2 kills, but when he picked up that AK, gets himself onto that off angle, that apartments player just takes a second longer to peek. He could have come out on top there. Instead, they just about win it, and LDLC, well, they call another timeout. Certainly not a stranger to just using up all of these timeouts. They've got several of them to work with, so there's no reason not to. Take some time to discuss what they're going to do going into this one. They haven't really... In fact, they do. They have got the money to pull out an AWP if they want to. Hadji could buy one, swap over with Sixer. Could actually just use it himself. He's proved that he's a pretty strong secondary. Instead, they are just going to go for the full rifles. Body just down to the Mac 10, which is a bizarre one, because he could have gone for an AK in that scenario. He would have sacrificed a tiny bit of utility, but instead chooses to go for that mobile weapon. Maybe we'll see something fast here from LDLC.
Certainly an interesting call. Illuminar with the timeout as well. It's such a high pressure moment in the game. This is a real momentum swinger of a round because of the economy of both sides. Now, technically speaking, Illuminar, because of the loss streak that they're on, they'll have that higher loss bonus and be less worried about losing this particular round because they'll just be able to, continue. If they continue losing, they'll be able to continue buying at the very minimum. Whereas LDLC, if they lose this upcoming round, they start to damage their own momentum a little bit and their own economy as well. They've done well to earn this lead. If they can extend it, that's what will really put Illuminar under pressure. If Illuminar can tie it back up and do it with 3 or 4 players left alive, the CT economy will go from strength to strength. It's quick out banana this time. The flash is overwhelming, but the bullet's overwhelming Vegi. Snacks at least gets one back. But it's quick play, nearly finding Lambert as well. Through the flames, he's lucky to be alive on 3.
Smart stuff to move right back off of it, head over towards A, and Afro somehow comes out on top. Rallan had such an advantage in that situation. But Afro's just far too quick. Now it's Mouse to hold this one up. The last line of defense, only good for 1, and it's onto the low HP player. LDLC able to take this A-bomb site. They have the man advantage as well. Innocent goes for the pre-fire, swings a little too wide, and now it leaves Snacks. 1 versus 3. Can't quite connect the shot on Afro jumping over. He can now regroup with his teammates, and Snacks, that's his call to go and save. If he finds that frag, maybe something to work with. Instead, Afro doesn't allow himself to get isolated, regroups with his teammates. And actually, they've sent a player on the hunt, and he might be able to find the kill. It's Hadji already ready and waiting. Snacks now gone, and AWP retrieved. Illuminar haven't got the money to buy into this one. LDLC might be able to put themselves onto 13 right now. This is huge from them.
A great effort indeed, considering that first half. They looked like they were being overwhelmed by Illuminar at certain points in time. They did well for that recovery, and they haven't really stopped the momentum going since. They strung 3 rounds together at the end of the first half, and then 3 rounds together at the start of the second, and now they're back to winning again. It's the pistol force from Illuminar, which looked very dangerous the last time, with Snacks nearly finishing the round on his own. But LDLC, if they can get through this, the next Illuminar force is their real chance of winning this map. Otherwise, LDLC are in a great spot at converting this series to 0.
We've both had little stabs at trying to work out this pick from LDLC, and this might just be why. So far, their T side has been near flawless. Of course, they were 9-6 down at half-time. They now sit 12-10 up. Looking to convert this one 13-10. As Innocent, the only man to hold up this B site, and only a 5-7 to do so. The nades rain over, the flash comes in. He peeks out, does no damage whatsoever. Sixer's the man to take him out. A lot of damage dealt through the smoke by Mouse. Put Sixer and Afro down to a combined HP of 30. Lambert here to catch off the rotations. Rallen, by the time it works out, just about in his favour, but Lambert finds his teammate instead. Should be able to trade it. That's exactly what he's able to do. Only a Mach 10 retrieved. And they are actually going to go for the save here. Save that Kevlar, bring it into the next round. They'll be able to have a little more work to work with.
They might be hungry for exits as well. Roland positioning towards T-spawn. Hoping that that's where these low HP players decide to exit Banana. All four of them will be going down this way. And Roland, he's heard these steps for sure. The two low HP players are facing, but it's Body who gets it done eventually. 4 HP, he survives and prevents the economic damage from being dealt to his side. 13-10 up. LDLC up against ILLUMINAR's full buy on the CT side. If they wanted to 2-0 this series, this round would go a long way in securing those efforts. Meanwhile, ILLUMINAR to stay in things, desperate for this round victory to deny that T-side momentum.
If ILLUMINAR lose this round, it's almost all said and done. LDLC in a really good position right now. You said it last map, they've had trouble in the past closing out these situations. That wasn't the case for Vertigo. Let's see if they can do it here, though. Body, the man who opens things up. A nice headshot onto Snacks. A pivotal player for ILLUMINAR now eliminated. And a man advantage for LDLC to work with. It's only Innocent left on the B site now to hold it up, as ILLUMINAR are keeping 3 players over on A. This does mean that LDLC could walk into a stack here. But if they do take out Innocent, the round is effectively theirs for the taking.
The strategy from LDLC is simple. Just wait at that time. The longer they wait, the greater the chance they go up against the 2-2 split in the site. But ILLUMINAR have already gambled against that factor. They've already decided that they want to stack the 3 players in A because their chances of retaking that bomb site, they must feel, are just simply lower than getting into that B site. Or at least holding on to the A site, it's going to be easier than holding on to the A site and retaking a dire situation either way. The execution's yet to come through, but Afro is pushing over on B. There's only one player to find in CT, but he's now backed off towards his spawn as well, and this is just an all-out push from LDLC on the A bomb site. Roland's already found Hadji. The bomb doesn't have much time to run away if it wanted to now. They have to go towards this A bomb site, and Innocent's found another kill. Absolutely the wrong call from LDLC as Sixer's trying to clean it up with the Tech 9. Thinks Roland, but it's all over. Afro's on B, and he's discovered it's a free bomb site, but he has no bomb, and it's too late to do anything.
That's really unfortunate for LDLC. It was a smart play, especially with Afro going over towards B. He used all of his utility to try and fake out some kind of rotation, and it just didn't happen. ILLUMINAR, they stood their ground. They said, nope, we're going to predict that that's a fake from Afro. We're going to keep all 3 players on the A site, and they completely shut it down. They had a perfect triangle formation. The crossfires were all there. The smokes made it a little bit easier as well for them to move around and make sure they weren't traded. And a very, very important round for them to convert does go their way. LDLC, still the money in the bank to buy into this one. They might be able to afford another as well if ILLUMINAR win this one. However, they will be looking to take this round as they creep up Banana and Body. Again, he's been so consistent with these entries. This time, ILLUMINAR do pull the rotations early on, though.
The right call, it seems, as the French are trying to charge into this B site. Body gets one. Innocent with replies, but how many more will he find? He has to run away off the angle and allow the B bomb site towards the French as Hadji charges towards him and forces the kill in LDLC's favor. Bomb now down, and Roland is fairly far away from this retake. It's going to be a long time before he's any kind of an option. A secondary CT smoke down leaves this all in the hands of Mouse, and Six has taken him out. Roland has to back away. This is 4 14 for LDLC, hunting map point and partially resetting the Illuminar economy.
Illuminar won't really have the money to buy into this next one. And obviously, Roland will save this M4, Mouse will have money to buy into it, and the rest of the players will kind of sit around the 3k mark, 3.5k. That's not really the money that you want to be investing into it. However, they have a really difficult decision on their hands. They either invest into it and face the fact that if they lose, they'll have no money left in the bank and they practically throw the series away, or they don't invest into it, but therefore allow LDLC to get to the match point and secure that overtime and give them 4 chances of closing it out. So a really difficult decision for Illuminar to make, and it's looking like they're going with the former. 2 MP9s, a FAMAS, and 2 M4s. Limited utility on a couple of these players as well to try and deny LDLC the series. And they do it. They've struggled with the rifles in the last few rounds, but this time it's do or die, and they might have some of that lifeline adrenaline to help them through it.
Either side's economy not looking particularly healthy. As this time LDLC want to consider the A bomb site early. We know Haji in the pistol round was just able to walk out onto this bomb site and devastate people. He's currently holding for apartments aggression. And the remaining Illuminar players, they're holding an A crossfire. All 3 of them positioned to deal with a full execution from LDLC when it comes through. And it's so much more passive in this round from Illuminar than it has been in the past. A whole minute off the clock before LDLC begin their advances, but they do begin. They clear apartments without losing any players, and they have the early A control. But if they want to aggress any further in, there's a triple crossfire to root out.
This was the crossfire that worked out for Illuminar a couple of rounds back. This super passive play where they play 2 players on site, 1 in the mini pit, isn't too bad. However, LDLC might be predicting it right now. They've seen it before. This time they're going to wrap around long. Snacks in the apartments. Oh, I thought he might be able to come out on top there, but as he gets taken down, Body finds 1 more. Mao's last alive, needed to find realistically 2 there. He couldn't even find himself 1 as he gets taken. And it's Veggie and Innocent. They are going for the save in this one. LDLC able to put themselves onto 15. And the thing is for Illuminar right now is the weapons that they're saving are just a FAMAS and an MP9. LDLC not going to go for the hunt. They know they haven't got too much money to work with. However, they might expect these last 2 weapons saved from Illuminar to be the rifles, because that's what they faced up against on the A site. Either way, isn't going to matter for them. They are just going to save in the pit. And LDLC put themselves onto match point. 4 chances to close it out. Who would have expected it? I certainly wasn't.
I certainly wasn't either. 15-11 in favor of LDLC, and you think back to Vertigo, when you look at their win rate in the last 3 months, they must have been putting a lot of work into that map recently, because their last 2, I believe, they've come out victors on what was previously, outside of their permaban, the worst map in the pool for them. They won 19-17 there, and now, while again it looked like they got off to a poor start here on Inferno, they've managed to come straight back into things and now have 4 chances, as you mentioned, to secure this series in regulation. We've seen sides lose larger leads than this and force us into overtime, so let's see if Illuminar have what it takes to mount the mighty comeback.
This is absolutely LDLC's best chance of taking this one. They're just against 3 MP9s, a FAMAS and an M4 in this round. If they do let this one slip away, though, Illuminar will have the weapons to work with. Bro, his crosshair straight on Snax' head through that wall. He comes around this corner. He could get taken out, but the flash is perfect from Body. The trade does come in, but Innocent gets taken down. The B site isn't quite open. I think LDLC may have walked into that one expecting it to be clear, but that Molotov confirms that there's a player there. Mao's getting aggressive, though, does get punished for it. Hadji takes him down. Afro through the smoke finds 1 more, and Ralan has to pull off a 1 versus 4 just to keep his team in this one. LDLC, this has been a fantastic performance from them, and as they look to find this final kill and close out the series, they're not taking any chances. The bomb yet to go down. It's actually wrapping round to A, as they know Ralan's position.
It's actually its 2nd trip towards the A bomb site. They were taking the bomb B, and then as soon as they killed Mouse in the apartment, they rotated the bomb over to A, and then as soon as they got that kill, they were rotating